You're live.
Hey, it's showtime.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
the camera a little bit
Look at all
here.
the people that's on already.
All right, welcome to the Bob and Tam Show. We are live in Myrtle Beach.
Last night.
Actually, at the state campground. We ended up not really finding a place to do a live this afternoon. I was going to do it earlier. Ended up not working out, so we moved on. We turned the camera a little bit more this way. Got the bikes all loaded up. We're ready to roll. All we have to do is unhook the water, the electric, and the sewer pipe, and we'll be on the road in the morning. So we'll talk a little bit about the rally today. We'll talk about that. But first off, we are only 103 subscribers away from breaking 25,000 subscribers. So it'd be great. 103. So it'd be great tonight if we could get people to share this and say, hey, why don't you go check out Bob and Tam, watch a little bit of a video. You need to watch about 3 minutes. And this will count too, if you were watching this and subscribed. And we can break that while we're on. That would be really cool. And be a great challenge. And we kind of wanted to, I didn't talk enough about it pre-rally wise to kind of keep people to do. We've gained a lot this month alone. I think I've gained 314 or 15. So we've been cooking along pretty good. I thought we would probably break it by tonight, but not there yet.
Sorry, I'm trying not to cough in my microphone.
So we've all been...
everybody in the whole rally industry.
Dan Kite was really sick this week too. He kind of got this thing. What it was, I don't know what it is. It was kind of a cold-like type thing that kind of like a head cold or something, like a cough, dry cough. And but a day or two would kind of take you down. I never completely wasn't like in Daytona. I was out totally on a Friday. But this Friday I was kind of down a little bit in the morning, and then pretty much I got going in the afternoon, and we stayed out later that evening. So we'll talk about.
We are at the Beaver Bar down here.
So let us know if it breaks up or anything like that, because we don't have the best internet. You can talk a minute. Let me put this on Facebook.
I can't find it
it's not on Facebook.
That was YouTube. I was trying to find it on.
So you just heard me talking.
No, it was a previous live. It wasn't the live that's on right now.
Well, you need to just talk.
All right. So Mike's on. Hi, Mike and Patsy. How are you guys doing? Same in the Bating thing. It's Bating Nation. Mike says, Beer Dog with the Vietnam Vets MC. You guys did a great job. We'll see you in Sturgis later. There you go, Mike. And RV Biker 18 is on. He says, hi. Janice says, hey, Bob and Tam here in North Carolina. The crud. I don't know. It's weird the way it feels, and I don't know. It's it's like real dry right here, and then you get that dry spot in your throat, and then you cough, and then it's like, I don't know. Sounds good and video's good. Okay, thanks, George.
Shouldn't be too bad because we're not moving around, so we shouldn't be too awful bad, I think. But when I looked, it wasn't the greatest. I'm putting it on Facebook for you Facebook people, which will end up taking you to it'll take you to YouTube. So you may not be able to subscribe and all that good stuff, but you'll at least be able to see us unless you're signed in on YouTube. I know a lot of you don't like YouTube, don't like Facebook, so it doesn't really matter if you don't like Facebook because you're already on YouTube.
So it's just going to take you right there.
So let me get one more to do, and we'll have them all on there. We thought Ryder X was going to come down, and he didn't do it. He said he could have done it over the phone, but I don't really want to try to explain it all.
I don't know.
And you need to just send him the link of video.
Yeah.
And because it came from but StreamYard, and said, okay, so it's on all the
platforms.
Close that. There's the.
Sorry, the mic is. I need to change mic sides. RV Biker says, what size bars do you have on your bike? I have a 2020 Ultra CVL Limited, and I want to do bars soon.
So mine are 12-inch extended reach, which actually comes back this way. They're fat bagger bars. Joey from All About Customs put those on for me. I ordered them through Fat Bagger too. I love them. I wished I would have bought them years ago. Now on her bike, the bars she's got, I don't know what brand they're even are. We ordered them through JP Cycles, and she just kind of wanted something back a little bit up. And some people don't like her bars, but she really likes them. They're closer together.
Well, they look kind of funky because they come up and then they kind of go in a little bit and then out. So they kind of got a weird shape, but I like where they are, and that's, I guess, all that matters. It's my bike. But I don't know. I like them.
Yeah.
And then They match my new little, except they're pointy. My crash bars and my handlebars are curvy.
They look more like the bow tie of a Harley emblem. But we needed something that would fit on the front of a Sportster that would be able to use forward control. So when we got those from Hogwarts. We didn't realize, but they all came through JP Cycle. Yeah. Pretty much most of the parts she got, other than the 2 things I bought off of Amazon, we got through JP Cycles. One, they gave us a little bit of a discount. Plus, you get, if you're new to them buying from JP Cycle, first time you can get 10% off. So that's kind of neat. You can get that no matter what. That's first time you buy. You have to sign up, and then they'll send you an email, and then you use that code and get it the first time you buy stuff. So it's kind of neat.
Used to have a card or something. If you
you can pay money. You can pay like $40 a year. You need a cough drop.
I got one in my pocket.
And you need to put it in. You haven't coughed like this all day.
I have coughed all day.
Not 4 or 5 times in a row.
Anyway.
So ice cream she ate. She shouldn't have had ice cream.
I saw you on Facebook in your little pink swimming suit. It was 85 up there in Minnesota today.
Holy smokes. Today was actually a cool day. It was only about 72 degrees. We went out this morning. She rode. And I wanted to clarify that because some people are thinking I'm telling her days to ride and days not to ride. When do you ride?
I feel up to it.
There you go. So I just asked her, you want to ride today or not? Well, during the peak of the rally, that's what she said. There's probably going to be a lot of bikes out there, right? And I'm like, yep. So she's like, I don't really want to go out there. Her hand's hurting, pulling the clutch in and out.
It's not because of the traffic. It is because of the traffic, because of my hand. It just.
So she's going to need to have surgery on her hand. And we're looking at maybe in Sturgis to try out those Recluse clutch pack that makes it into an automatic. You still have to shift. You can shift with the clutch too, but the nice thing is when you stop, you don't have to pull the clutch in. So that's something we're probably going to get for her bike. And
RV Biker wants to know what you paid for the bars.
Oh, the handlebars?
Yes, the handlebars.
I was thinking our crash bar.
No,
it's somewhere around $950. That's installed, the wiring harness, everything. I think it was right around $950 for the whole thing. For the bars. Yeah, but handlebars aren't cheap. It's just like somebody here. Oh, the guy right over here, one of our subscribers is right over here. He's leaving tomorrow morning too. Yeah. He had paid $400 on the internet. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, $400 on the internet, and the guy charged him like $350 to put them. They're not fat bagger bars. I didn't look at his bar. He's got a trike. And so it ended up, he paid about $750 plus his taxes and stuff. So,
and he had to buy the harness, the wire harness.
Yeah, so he had to pay another $50 for that. So that brought him up to about $800. It was
real close to what he paid.
Yeah, so they're all, it just, you want to find some you like. And that's what I said, especially with me, my height. They said, if you're under 6 foot, these 12-inch extended reach ones are really good for the shorter people. Not saying we're that short. I'm about 5'10 and a half, 5'11, somewhere in that range. But it was the biggest thing I've noticed is when I go to make a U-turn, I'm not doing this anymore where I'm pulling my arm all the way out. And then also my elbows are just set a little bit flexed to where you're not, you're not out like this. You're not back here like this. And so, yeah, and I like it. I wouldn't trade them in a world. And a lot of you have some. I don't know if anybody will come on tonight, but we've probably had a half a dozen to a dozen subscribers have bought those from Joey, and they all love them too. So then one of them, we did put them on a trike. One of our subscribers got them on the trike, and if you do a trike, and if you want to go through Joey, you got to call him ahead of time. He's not a very friendly trike guy worker. He'll do them, but he likes to know that it's coming in before. Which I don't really know if you're doing it. I don't see any difference in a trike. Changing handlebars on them. I think the fairings and all that, I think that's all the same. I don't know if he's got to have more room because it's wider. I don't know what his issue was on it. We had one of our subscribers, another one's, well, actually the one's here.
The ones that bought the other.
Yeah, I bought him off the line. And he said he went there and they told him, no, I ain't got time to do them. So I don't know if it was just a bad day. I don't know. So beside that. So that's what the bars are. So we're going to talk a little bit tonight, probably a lot of it tonight, about Myrtle Beach. What everybody thinks about it like that. And there's a few videos other than Adam, Amazon Adam putting out his videos. Where us and him is probably the only ones that put a regular steady videos out. There was a few other, we have a Myrtle Beach patrol or something like out here. I guess it puts the videos out for local people or something, I guess. I don't know. Cycle Drag, I guess, was down here. I seen him running across the street one day. Does anybody know that guy if he has a motorcycle? I have never seen this guy riding a motorcycle. Just curious. I don't really watch his channel. He just pops up. I don't know if he knows who we are. He looks at us, but he doesn't. He's always running away when he's. I guess we scare him, I guess.
No, I think he's always on a mission.
And so I don't know. I like I said, I don't know the guy. I've never met him. I've seen him 2 or 3 times. I've seen him down in Daytona. I don't know if we ever seen him in Sturgis or not.
He was at Macomb Auction.
Yeah, he was at Macomb
Both
Auction.
times we were there.
And but he's never gone out of the way to talk to us. And I've walked by him, and he kind of looked at us one time and like he thought he knew who us were. I'm like, I don't care. It doesn't make any difference to me. But just curious if the guy's got a motorcycle or not. You know, he's got that shirt. Looks like he's a NASCAR car driver or something.
A motorcycle racer.
I don't know. Maybe he makes motorcycles. I don't know.
He might. I don't know.
He's got a big channel. I think he's got like 600,000 subscribers. Because the video popped up. He was talking about, which we're going to talk about that in a video.
Rowan
that
he says he has a bike.
Oh, okay. Just curious because, like I say, I've never seen the guy on a bike, and in the few videos I've clicked on, he videotapes 99% of the time. He films with his phone. He walks around with his phone, and he's got pretty good sound for not having. It doesn't look like he's got a microphone on, but and so I've seen him several times, and he's always just holding the phone in his hand, and so he does a really good job.
Him and Adam both. They just have the phone.
Well, Adam's got a gimbal now. And he puts it on.
So Andrew A.S. Pipe says he had 16-inch on his 2019 Ultra Limited, and then he had 14-inch after they got bent, and he replaced them with 16-inch.
Everybody's a little different. It's like the professional monkey, that green bike he had a year ago. I don't know if he still got that bike or not, but he had it there at Leesburg, and I was saying something about him. He's like, sit on the bike. And actually, it didn't feel, I didn't take it out for a drive. He told me I could have rode it. I'm like, no, I'm not going to ride your bike. And so I said, but yeah, I was very surprised.
Because they look like they were way up higher than the windshield. So they look like big old ape hangers. But once he sat on it, it was like,
okay, yeah, it's not bad at all.
It looks worse than it was.
Yeah. Looks more impressive than it actually is. So, but I mean, it was interesting. And we didn't get to really talk to the monkey much in Leesburg.
Japanese bike, and he's a sports bike fan.
Okay. And I see that he does a lot of different stuff. So I just know that when we talk to Bert's Barracuda down there and with Paul Sr. from OCC Choppers, that thing that he did with him first did the interview and then went over and did Jay Leno, Paul will never ask him back again. He wasn't very pleased with that. And that's typical. That was clickbait. No matter what you do, and he knew Jay would probably say that about it, because if you know anything about chopper, you're having somebody build you a custom chopper motorcycle. There is no owner's manual for that, okay? So if you don't really know how to work on the bike and you can't take that bike back to that guy who built it for you, you're screwed, to be honest with you, because it's just like my chopper. I was just planning on trying to figure everything out on my own, but now we figured out who built it and stuff, and we're going to go up there when we get home in September or something, if I get time between rallies, get up there in Vegas and talk to them, put it on tape, and so I'll have it as a record for me. I may show you guys, I may not, I don't know. It's more for my benefit, just to make sure I know all the stuff. We're going to be sending the heads off anyway, because I got to get the pressure relief, and Dark Horse will probably give me some more information on the heads and stuff when I send them to them. But I'll measure the pistons and different things like that to see what's in it too. But
we saw a lot of those bikes at the Macomb auction, and I'd never seen that brand before. That Hayabusa.
Yeah, I never had heard of them either.
But they think that's the type of bike that
he
Cycle
has.
Drag has.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just never see him riding a bike. I see him walking all the time. It's kind of like Prime Cut Pro. Prime Cut Pro and Austin Documentary, they don't have motorcycles. They have some quads and some, not quads, but I mean, they have some off-road vehicles and stuff like that they take when they go to the mud runs and stuff. And I was talking to Kelly the other day, which is Prime Cut Pro, and he used to be a big dirt bike guy. He used to ride around dirt bikes all the time. And that's what he was trying to, I said the other day, I said, man, you guys ought to get you a motorcycle. And I said, you could get around a lot easier and stuff on it. And he said, yeah, I used to ride a bike all the time. He says, we've been kind of talking about that. But see, they fly into all the rallies, so they wouldn't have the bike with them. But in Florida, they could, because they live in Florida. So that's why I said, just would look a lot better. Because I get that every once in a while when people see us filming in the truck and they're like, a guy which never watches our channel, well, real big, tough guy, you got a truck and a motorcycle channel and you don't even own a motorcycle. It's like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. There's like a guy yesterday on one of the things came up and said, oh, I guess it was on my review of the Road Glide, the 2024. And he says, I can tell you're a real Honda rider. And don't know what that's supposed to mean. But what I told the guy was, here it is, dude. I'll be in Sturgis from June 10th till August 16th, probably. And I'd be happy to go for a ride with you. And we'll see how that all works. Let me know. So I don't know where he is or who he is, or I didn't pay attention to his name. But then I was talking to somebody today, and he's like, there's some really badass Honda riders out there in the world. There's some race Hondas and stuff that are really, he said, so what did it mean by him saying that? It might have been Adam Amzo. Might have told me that today.
Yeah, I think he did.
And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what it meant. That's why I said, you can go. I would be happy to go for a ride with you. Take you on some roads I know, and we'll see how it goes. We'll have a little chat. And but it is. I had another guy today watched the video and says, "Man, your sound sucks in this video." And so I wrote back and same thing. It might have been Adam Amzo at the beginning of the day. I was saying that he goes, everybody's got it's a criticism, and why don't they try to do it? So that's what I told the guy. So maybe you could redo the video, and we can see how your sound does. Maybe you do a better job, dude. So had fun with a few people today.
Well, that's what because you only got a limited amount of time and a one take shot, and it's like it's not
a studio. Well, like I say, my son-in-law does TV commercials. For a 20-second commercial that he makes, that he spends usually an average of a full day of shooting a 20-second commercial, charges between $15,000 and $30,000 for a finished product. So I could do that too, if you give me the time to shoot my video.
Retake and retake until you get that perfect shot.
So 90%, we're more of vloggers than we are anything else. We're vloggers to show you what's going on at the rally, what's happening, things like that. Most of the time we get one-time shoots and that's it. Now, we have had once we lost the sound. We had to go back, and the second time we went back was not as good as our first shoot that we did. But we couldn't go back again and do another one. So I can't see, I can listen to it on the, you got these little cameras we shoot with, and I put it up to my ear and we can listen to it. But I mean, I can't talk. It's like listening to.
We know that we picked up some sound. That's all we know.
You're listening. The speaker inside here is probably not even. I couldn't even say how small. What's that? A
nano.
Yeah, a nano inch. That's how big the speaker is in here. And
the commercial on TV, and they said something about a nanosecond. He's like, "What is that?" And I said, "It's a thing." And he's like, "How long is that?" And I said, "Smaller than a second."
Well, then it ain't nothing.
Why have it?
Yeah. You can't measure that.
Like what's smaller than a penny?
Half a cent cut in half.
Hey.
So that's kind of that stuff there. So I was just kind of harping on some of my comments that I get. But the more comments you get, more people watch your videos, the more you get clowns coming in and saying stuff that don't know what to do. Sometimes people will write something that they're trying to see if I'm stupid. If I'll say something like there's a guy right now that's made a comment and I Googled it and I looked at it and I don't buy what he's saying. So I'm like, I was going to talk to Speed today and I forgot to ask him when we stopped by there. But sometimes like that, I'll hold off on a comment because I'm like, I'm not, which I tell you, most of you know, I'm not a motorcycle mechanic. I'm an auto mechanic. You want to start talking about V8s and older cars and stuff, then yeah, we can talk. But with motorcycles, I'm like everybody else. I'm learning. Hopefully, but soon, if we get into doing what we're planning on doing, we'll talk a little bit about that tonight. What's the future of our East Coast rallies? What we're looking at, what we're doing, and what we'll be doing next year. But
he wants to know if I helped you clean up after the burnout pit. No, but it took him 3 times to get it clean, and I had to wash his shirt twice.
Well, what the magic was, she already put it away. I have some goop cleaner, hand cleaner it's waterless that I use when I work on the trailer. If I'm outside, I get all greasy or something, I can open up the front of the trailer, get out that hand stuff. I just use a shop towel and wipe my hands off. Well, I end up taking that in the shower, rub my face, I wash my hair with it, my neck, and back of my neck was all bad. I guess it's because I was doing what I did. I would have been a lot worse. But this guy was kind of standing like this in front of me, and I'm standing over here to the side of him. And so when it got really bad, I kind of got behind him and I just held my arm up and I had my shirt up like this, trying not to breathe all the toxic fumes in. And
I was just hoping you didn't get something in your eye.
I got burned a couple times. There was a couple hot pieces of rubber that landed on my arm. Well, this girl was standing next to me and I was kind of huddling down with her too. And then we ran into her. She's going to be on a video somewhere because she says, I was so black when I got done. Because we went next door, that Voodoo bar that they opened up, brewery. And so we figured we knew they had bathrooms. So I went in there, took their bathroom soap, put it on, and it did nothing. I got more coming off of the hand towel than I did off of my face or hand. So then I went over to Speeds, and they had the pumice type. That didn't do a real lot of it. Did help, but it didn't take it all off. That goop that I had, I was going to do a video and talk about that. If you ever go to a burnout pit, stand in the thing, buy this you can get it at Harbor Freight, and you can probably get it at AutoZone or something.
Yeah. And he used to use goop. Well, my dad used to have it. Looked like
It was
greasy
white.
hair gel.
Well, it was white.
You used to stick your hand in there. It was like all greasy and slimy. I love the way that stuff smelled.
Yeah, it was goop. That was the original goop.
It was.
And that's
Bob,
years
you
of
do a video on your bike and what you like and your dislikes. And did you do a new windshield?
No. Well, it's not factory. I've got a Clockworks on it. Somebody broke one of my windshields 2 years ago.
You have to bring that up. Hi, Christy. How are you? There's Stephen. God bless you both, and good dear friends. Thank you for your hard work. Thanks, Stephen.
And
Didn't get to meet up with him today,
yeah.
and I'm not going to see him. So
yeah.
we're leaving in the morning, Stephen.
7 a.m.
Yeah.
Be on the road again. On the road again. Down there
near Google, and my phone went crazy. I just laughed so hard at Bob.
He said that he wrote on that when somebody, I don't know, it might have been him that wrote and said he used to work in a coal mine.
Oh.
He said that's what I look like, and he laughed. From the moment he seen it, he laughed all the way through the video because I guess he knew what was going to happen. But I've been close like that before, but I guess because this kid, that's why I only filmed that one. That kid betted these other guys $200, and he would burn it off. And we never heard the explosion of the tire. That's why he pulled it back in the second time, because he thought it still had air in it. And the center of the tire was gone. If you look at the video, it was gone already. And he only did it a short time. He went back out. And they had about 10 bikes that were going to be doing that night. I wasn't going to stay.
And the announcer guy, drugged it on. You could see at the beginning how it was still light outside. And when they did it, it was dark.
Well, he started about 8 o'clock.
At least an hour.
Yeah, about 8 o'clock, he started talking about going on. So I said something to him about, what are you thinking? And he said, well, we got to wait for the band to stop. And about 5 minutes after the band stops, we'll stop. Well, about that time, the band starts up again. They're playing their encore, I guess. Nobody knows who the hell they are. I think they're like a local yokel band. And they were playing some country music or something. They were all right. But I mean, I've never seen a local yokel band come out and do encores. If you're done, you're done. I don't know. I just never seen that before. And because usually they say it's last song, blah, 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 and they're done. They're out of there. This guy, they came back and I think he played 2 songs. I'm like, hello, stupid, turn it off. Well, then he's wanting to do it, but they had the sound on the stage playing loud. Well, they had Jackal playing. If you've ever been to Jackal concert, he plays all that disco songs before he comes out. And that's what they were playing. They were playing his set of songs, same songs you hear all the time. And so he's yelling at him on his mic, turn it down, turn it down. He's calling him on the phone, turn it down, turn it. He walks all the way down there, halfway back. They still haven't turned it down yet. And I'm standing there I think it might be their guy. They had a guy that was shooting like for Facebook or something, had the phone turned this way, had a camera, had a light on it and handles and all this whole thing. Big tall guy.
See nothing.
Big tall guy.
Once the smoke starts.
And so I said something to him. I said, that's Jackal's set that they play before they start. And we got rid of the wet t-shirt contest there. And it's probably because of Jackal, because they canceled it last year. And so finally they did turn it down a little bit. And so he's finally starting up. Now it's about 8:45. And this guy just keeps going on. We're waiting for one more. Come on. Who cares? You can keep the bike can keep lining up. There's no sign up. And then he keeps saying that on there. Come on down and sign up. Sign up for the burnout. Oh, they're giving away a whole whopping 200. Because somebody asked me how much they're giving away. I said, I think they're giving $1,000. And then he goes, we're giving $200 away. Yeah, let's blow up our tire, our $300 or $400 tire. Let's blow it up and get $200. Yay!
So Fender Kit wants to know if you're a Burnout Pit fan now.
No, never have been. I have gone. The only reason I've gone is to film it. Before when I had a car, I did. When I was in high school, I was telling somebody that the other day, I used to go to Kmart and I'd buy their old worn out tires. I'd put it on my old 67 Thunderbird. It had 390 with a 4-barrel in it, and it would just light them up. It would just sit there and just light them up, and it'd bounce around until there was almost no tread on it. And I'd go down to Kmart again, and for like $10 or $12, they'd sell me a tire or two, put it back on there, and I did it all the time. Smoked the tires all the time on that car. And so, yeah, when I was a kid, I have no interest in doing what they do, because I could see that tire coming off, ripping off my fender. My saddlebags would go flying off, and there you're sitting there, and then you're calling your insurance company up and going, I was just driving down the road and it exploded. Yeah. How about all that rubber? Because I know what it looks like, because underneath your fender, you got all that rubber's building up underneath your fender, because we have it on the trailer. When the trailer tire explodes on it, and by the time you slow down, all that, I got a mold underneath one side from where the tire flew up and is stuck to it. And I still haven't been able to chisel it off at the bottom of the trailer. It ain't no big deal. It's there. It's not hurting anything. But when I was under there doing the brakes, I kind of beat on it with a hammer and a chisel. But so you can just imagine all that junk that's underneath there. Then you're in there too, breathing all that crap. Because nobody had a man. Well, the first one, if you watch, was those people, the first two people that came up wasn't in the contest. So the one pulled up with that girl sitting in the back of the bike. And I'm like, that's a real good one. And then she comes out and the girl's just, oh yeah, I'm fine. Until she hacks up black ones all for the next week.
That's hard. And then I was standing like in the front. They've got like
she's behind the
all the way
plexiglass
around. And it's just like, it's so hot. There's no air going through there. And everybody, I thought they were going to hang that guy that kept talking and talking. They're like,
well, he's a typical announcer guy like that that's trying to rub the crowd. But I mean, it was already packed. You can see my video. If you watch it, you've seen the crowd. You couldn't get any more people in there. Actually, one guy had this broad on the back, big, heavier girl, and they dropped the bike in all that mess. Because what was happening, they should have stopped people from going through the loop. Because once it started before the contest started, it got to be, you had to push people out. So you got about this much room to squeeze between the crowd with your bike. Two, you're dangerous, because if you did run over somebody or hit somebody's foot, it's your fault. It's your motorcycle. You shouldn't have came through there. You made the choice.
No,
so
I was noticing, did they ever let any trikes in? I guess I saw some spiders.
Yeah, trikes went through there. I didn't see no spiders came through. I didn't see any. Maybe during the day, but not at night. There were some trikes that came through. There was one place we were at, and I seen they even had a sign that said trike parking. And I don't know where that was at, but it was somewhere.
Yeah, we did have a good time down here. It was a little different because the Barefoot Landing wasn't there, so we had a lot of extra spare time because we weren't running back and forth, weren't going to see the vendors there and the people there and what was going on there. So it was like, okay, now what do we do? And so, it was like...
Well, we learn every time we do this, and this year was just kind of screwed up because we tried to spend a lot of time trying to find people. It wasn't till Friday we found that, or Thursday, that we found that Jammin' Leathers, that Chris was out there and somebody else was out there. And the rest were more smaller vendors, nobody big. But I had somebody complain about that too, that I know you don't like the dealership over there in Myrtle Beach, but you could at least show them the vendors. I'm pretty sure we walked through the vendors. Now,
a couple of times.
I don't show you every vendor. Why? Do you need to see 100 freaking t-shirt places selling stupid shirts?
Or patch shops? The same patch shop, but he's in like 40
I get to
places.
where when we're doing a video, I start looking at the content of what we're going to put in. And like, we walk through there. I rode the bike too sometimes through there. And we show that. But I mean, it's like, we went by KST when we first walked in there. And we kind of showed that. And now the other side, it's got the stupid people that are cleaning sunglasses. And the guy that with the bracelets.
The magnetic bracelets.
Can you get away from standing in front of our booth? I said, sure, guy, and I'll never film your booth again either, you dumbass. I didn't say that, but that's what I should have said to him. Well, but I'm like, we're not even in front of his booth. We're back. We're out in the middle of the street.
In the middle of,
and we're talking. Some subscribers, you guys were talking to us, and we're just chatting. And the guy comes up, and it's like, and I said it as he was walking away. I'm like, dude, like, we're blocking customers. You ain't got no freaking customers. You're chasing everybody down. Nobody walks up and says, I want a magnetic bracelet. I'm a dumbass. I want a magnetic bracelet. You don't come to a motorcycle. If you came here to buy a magnetic bracelet, you came to the wrong rally.
You came to the right one because they had them here. Seems like you had a fan of somebody parking in one of your recent videos. He probably saw it on the premiere.
Oh, yeah. So some guy, might even be guy. I don't know, guy, woman, thing, whatever it was. So we went one
We're
evening.
assuming this is what it was.
One evening, it could have just been somebody jacking with us. She answers most of the premiere, so it's not me, it's her. So she's on there, and this guy writes on there and said, "Hey, do you remember the red motorcycle you parked next to?" And she, of course, just says, "Yeah, I remember." Well, so it's both. Well, we're taking this that it was at Suck Bang Blow, which it could have been at any of the other places that we parked. So I don't know. So we pull in the Suck Bang Blow, and they run us around the back of the parking lot like they always do over there on the side. And they had us coming up the aisle the wrong way. The other parking guys yelling, "You're going the wrong way." Not to us, to the guy that was sending us all up there. Well, everybody's kind of taking a spot. So we're all pulling in different from what we normally would pull in. We're pulling in forward. Did we back in? We backed in. Instead of pulling in, where everybody else kind of pulled in. So we pull in a spot, and it's pretty tight. There's a little bit of room on both sides of us. Well, we figured the same thing. We're not going to be there very long. Not a big deal. We parked in tighter places. And so we go, and we probably weren't even there 45 minutes maybe at the most that we were even in the place. 30, and so not a whole lot of time. We made a loop around. We mainly stopped to talk to one sexy biker chick, go in there and just kind of see what she had up to do. And we made a loop around the place, and we came back out and we left. And when we came out, there was 2 bikes on one side were gone, and on our back side where I backed in, there was 3 or 4 bikes gone, because I ended up just pulling my bike all the way out, and I got going out the right way. So, but when I got to my bike, one of my little antennas was missing. So I did a video and said, "Look what some SOB," I said a few other words, and I was going to put it in a video. So I'm like, some moron stole my. I said, first, somebody's got some big balls to take something off of somebody's motorcycle at a motorcycle rally. Because if I was at the end, it wasn't broke. It was it was unscrewed. So because I would, if I seen somebody taking something off of somebody's bike, I would say, "Dude, is that your bike?" And well, same thing. I'd have the camera on. Well, so we're going halfway down the road, and she finds it in the cup holder. So this moron, which to me, it almost sounds like some kid would have done something stupid like this. So then when we get back, and she's doing at 8 o'clock, she's doing the premiere, 8 o'clock here. This guy goes, "You blocked me in with the red bike." Well, she's thinking it was the bike behind us, because I didn't really notice it, but she said when I backed up, because I stopped when I felt I was comfortable, safe space, and my tire was over the little yellow line. And the guy goes, "Can't have that. You got to back up more." So I said, "Look, watch me," and said, "Can I get back some more?" She said, "Yeah, come back, stop." And I'm like, "All right." So I look, and I'm like, just over the line. So I'm like, "That's good. We'll just leave it right there." Well, she said it looked like if the other guy tried to stand his bike up, it might have hit the back of our bike. It was only like 2 inches. But I mean, you could have got on your bike and just kind of slid it. Look. So this guy writes on there, and then you guys didn't see it because it comes up after the fact, and it's not there anymore because the premiere was over. But he wrote a few more things. He says, "I got your license plate number. I know the name of your YouTube channel, and my lawyer will be contacting you." Contacting because we parked too close? Is that what you're calling about? Do you think I hit your bike? If you think I hit your bike, you should have called the popo. And they would have came, because actually the popo's on the lot. They're walking around. There's plenty of them. I would have stood there until the cops came, and then we would have got there. We could have said, "Well, let's look at the bikes and see is there a mark on my bike to match his mark on his bike?" If he had a mark, I don't know. But after I thought about it, it could have just been some guy, or it could be just some kid. It could be a troll that's just trying to hack us on our channel to see if we would bite on this. And so, first of all, here's what I said. Jeez. If you ever watch Wind Road Therapy, she comes on our channel. Well, we were just down in Panama City. She spent quite a bit of time with us, and we did some stuff with her and did some rides and stuff with her. Which she went with us to Hammerhead Fred's when they had the bikini contest that we put on a week or two ago. And so we decided we seen the first shot of it. And the next one would have been close to midnight, and we all ate. We had a couple drinks, and we're like, "We're done." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm done too." So we parked against and if you don't know Hammerhead Fred's, wouldn't matter. But when you first pull in the lot, we got there early enough that we were able to park right there on the building on the left side. So no problem. Well, when she got there a little later, she parked in the back lot, and it's like parking stalls. Some on this side, some on that side. So she picked the very last parking stall on the corner and put her bike right there and backed up to it. We come out. There's now 3 bikes on the end of her that's all blocked her in, that they're not even they're in the road, not in the parking part anymore, not on the road highway, but the road you would go driving through the parking lot.
Drive to get out.
And then there's bikes in front of her too. They're double parked. So she's like, what the hell are we supposed, how am I going to get out of here now? And it's because she's up against the back block, so she can't go backwards.
A parking block, so she can't back
There's
out.
a little bit of grass. She might have been able to weevil it back and forth if we could have got over the parking block. And so I'm like, I don't know. So the security guard guy, parking guy, kid, whatever he was, guy, comes over. And he's like, what's the problem? I said, well, we got this bike. Can you get it out of the way? And he's like, well, we're not, hold on a minute. And so he goes away, comes back. Oh, we're not allowed to touch anybody's bike. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, here's what I could do. How about I just call the cops and a wrecker? It'll be nothing more fun than a police car pull up here with some lights on, and your bar will be emptied really, really quick. So while I'm talking to him, some other kid jumped on this guy's bike, person's bike, could have been girl, guy, I don't know, and pushed it forward. And he left it.
You want me to move that bike for you? And we're like, sure.
Thought it was his. And so he just said, no, it wasn't. It wasn't my bike, and it wasn't locked. The column wasn't locked. So he moved it, pushed it back. We got out. That's happened to us. Many times we've gone in a parking lot. We've came out of a venue because we always leave early. Any place we go, because I just don't like to fight the crowds when everything's over, concert's over, or whatever it is. So we've done the same thing. Bikes have been right up against us. I've had times where I've had to stand a bike up and she'd have to come over and stand where I was holding that bike so I could push my bike out. So yes, if you're at a motorcycle rally and you're not comfortable with people parking close to you, you probably shouldn't go to a motorcycle rally, because it's going to happen. Now, there's exceptions to the rule, like us. We are very privileged because we know a lot of vendors. We park most of the time down at Speeds, because we just pull up there and he's like, yep, put it over here with our personal bikes and you guys don't have to worry about it.
And then we're kind of in the middle. We're halfway to.
And when we go to Rick Racks, we can go pull right up to Rick Racks, because Shane's like, yep, hey guys, how's it going? Can we leave the bike here while we do a quick little walk around? Yeah, sure, no problem. So, we have that privilege, which you don't always. Now, in this case, we went through Spokes and Bone. We went through Suck Bang Blow Saloon. We were going to do the loop. Let's go ahead and do the loop. We'll film it. We're both on the same bike. We're on my bike. And I said, we'll go through there, and then let's just stop in the park real quick and go see Anessa from One Sexy Biker Chick. We haven't had a chance to talk to her since she's officially been open. And so that's when it all started. So I don't know who this guy is. If he wants to talk to my lawyers in New York, Lasheen, Levine, Jabin, that you can get a hold of them in New York, and they'll take care of you.
I had a guy park super close to me, and I was super pissed, and I wound it up to kickstart it without moving forward. I wound up to kickstart it without moving forward. That'd be hard if you had a kickstart bike to try to.
And so, like I say, that's the problem when you go to these rallies like this, and it's happened to us a couple. One time I moved a bike, and this girl comes over and starts yelling at me, "You're not supposed to touch somebody's bike!" Blah, 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 blah. And it's like I couldn't say anything because she's abroad, and I'm like, "Dude, lady, you shouldn't have parked your freaking." And I did. I pushed the bike up. I pushed my bike out. I was just getting ready to push their bike back. Well, you're not supposed to. And the guy didn't say nothing. It's just girl.
And that's what he said. You shouldn't have parked in front of us. You seen we were bike. You knew you didn't know who bike that was.
She's lucky I wasn't packing, because she wouldn't have been around anymore. That was the biggest bee I've seen in a long time, and she's not like, she won't hit nobody like that. You'd have to almost hit her for her to call off and kill somebody and club them. But I wish we have some friends, some female friends, that would have just knocked her on her ass and she wouldn't have got up until the next day. And that would have been the end of it. But I don't hit women. So, but I mean, that's like 3 years ago. And it was like, I did everything good, just not to say anything much to her. And, but yeah. So once in a while you get that. And then some people, just like these guys, ended up after on that other bike with Wind Road Therapy. When she moved her bike, I noticed that after the guy moved the bike and he said it wasn't his, that 2 or 3 of those bikes left the ignition unlocked. They left it in the center. So maybe that's why they did that. So, hey, if somebody needs to move my bike, they can move it. No big deal. I would expect that too. If I put my bike in front of your bike.
And didn't know who you were.
Now mine's got the siren on it, so it's pretty loud because of the CVO. So, but I mean, yeah, I wouldn't. First of all, I would never do that. I would not block somebody in. I just wouldn't do that, because you just never know who it might be. You might get somebody that's some clown that just takes your bike and throws it in the dirt, knocks it over. And then what are you going to do? You're going to go out and fight the guy, and he's 6'5", and you find out he's an HA or he's somebody like that, and he's got 10 of his buddies here that are willing to shoot you over it. So I always tread lightly at all these rallies, things like this, because you don't always know who's who. We're by ourselves 90% of the time, walking around and things like that. And I've seen some HAs this time that they're packing guns. They were on the outside. They weren't concealed or anything. And but most of the bars here, like, well, for instance, Suck Bang Blow, they've had so much trouble there. They have no colors now. But the Beaver Bar, she allows the colors and stuff to come through there. Didn't see any trouble. So that's one thing I want to say. We'll talk about the rally. I didn't see any real trouble. I didn't hear anything about any of the clubs doing any stupid stuff. We've heard before, we've seen before where they beat up a Christian motorcycle rider about 3 years ago, just beat the hell out of him for no reason at all. I don't want to talk too much about that because someone watch us. But I would hope that those 4 guys that were in that club, that they're not here to talk about it anymore. But that's the way it should be, because if you know anything about 1% clubs, it's all about respect and honor. And even if this Christian motorcycle guy said you need to repent, no reason for them to kick his brains in. And I don't know if the guy I know he lived after the product, but I mean, there was a girl, was a bartender that one of the clubs punched her in the face down there by Beaver Bar, not on Beaver Bar, the one next door. Well, so we've seen some issues there. Not saying there's not issues at other places, but what you got to think about, especially if you're in a club, any of this, we all need to think about this. You see what happened in New Mexico. There will never be another motorcycle rally ever in the state of New Mexico. They passed a law because of that shooting. Somebody stupid did something stupid, and it just ruined it for everybody. And it's the same thing here. And I always wonder that here in Myrtle Beach. Somebody said it's because the politics changed. I don't buy that. What I buy is something probably happened in 2007, 2008. Something probably happened in Myrtle Beach, said that's enough is enough. Let's see what we can do to get rid of these people, or let's make it tougher for them to be here. Let's make a helmet law. Let's make this. Let's make that. So, I wasn't here in that time. So I don't know. You might have been. You might know something that happened. Then again, you may not. We know for sure one person got killed out here during the rally, but we don't know any others at this moment. That's just because it was publicly put in the newspaper. What's the county that?
Horry.
No, the other one.
Georgetown
said they had no fatalities. We talked to the sheriff yesterday, and they said they had no fatalities. They didn't know any of them about Horry. They don't report to Horry. Horry don't report to them. But sometimes they'll chat back and forth, and they find things out. But they said we hadn't heard anything. But one of our subscribers that was in town said she seen it in the newspaper, and it was over there on the 544?
544.
That it was a man and a woman, and the woman died. She was a passenger, and she died on the bike.
SUV pulled out in front of them.
Yeah. So it's really, I consider Myrtle Beach to be the most dangerous for motorcycles when it comes to cars. There's just a lot of cars. People say, oh, well, Panama City. No. Panama City has a lot of cars, but it's in a very condensed area. This is a 40-mile stretch here that we have that's crazy with cars. 75% of the people here are freaking tourists. Some of them aren't even Americans. Like here in the campground, we got a bunch of Canadians. Nothing wrong with Canadians, but they drive different than we do. It depends if they live in a rural area. They may not even hear. People that come from a small town and they come here, and people are nuts. And then also the bikes sometimes can get nuts. People are, you pull out and 5 of your buddies pull out right behind you on the 17B and don't look that there's cars coming. You can't assume everybody's going to hit their brakes. People's playing on their phones. People are yakking to each other. People ain't paying attention. Some of these morons don't even know how to drive, but yet they've got a license somehow. So,
there's Grandpa Dude. We didn't see him either. Missed you guys this week.
Oh.
Yep. I texted him when we first got here because we were going to do that little ride, and I thought maybe he could go with us. And he said he only had to work one more day, and then he was off the rest of the week. And
forget about it.
Yeah.
That's what we always tell you. You need to contact us. We met a bunch of great subscribers this week. Some of you haven't made the videos yet. I missed one the other night. And I'm like, I don't know how I missed that guy.
After he gets all done with it.
It's always when I'm rendering it, and I'm thinking, oh, crap, where was that at? I didn't put that on. It's a couple that we're going to meet, and they have a Can-Am, and they're going to the 3-wheel rally. And they're like, hey, Bob and Dan. And they were actually had contact No, they weren't the one that contacted us about
No,
a
it
place
was
to
the
camp.
other, the next guy we
And
saw.
so, but yeah, we've met a bunch of cool people, and a lot of them I got on camera. Not everybody we did. She met a few, and I didn't get to meet too. So it was really neat. We love meeting everybody. We don't mind taking a little time out. Problem we have is if we're at SBB and you're now at Spokes and Bones, and then we eventually get over to Smokes and Bones. Now you're over at the Beaver Bar. We're not going to chase anybody.
There's a few people that we kind of kept missing.
You need to come to us. We can't always come to you because we might have already filmed the Beaver Bar and we're done with it for today. We don't need to go back again and get it. You know, we're filming all day long. We're working all day. We're working, looking for stuff to film.
Put a picture up where we're at when we stop.
I tried on Facebook. You got to go to Facebook to see that, so you don't see it on YouTube. So we'll talk a little bit about the rally since we've been rattling on about everything else. So we got here Monday. Tomorrow will be 2 weeks ago. So we got here early to be able to kind of get around and see what happened. So Monday we got here kind of late in the afternoon. We didn't really do a whole lot. Did we come to the dealership? No, we didn't go to the dealership yet. We didn't do. Did we go out and looking around? Did we? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I don't remember. Too long ago. So
yeah, we didn't get here. We couldn't check in until 2. I think we got here around 3. And by the time we got unpacked and unloaded, it was.
I think we might have drove around. I don't think
we took the truck out. I think.
Yeah, I took the truck out. We didn't really. I don't think we took the motorcycles out right away.
Got something to eat and kind of just looked around to see what was going on.
Yeah, so we just had that was kind of it. So then the next couple of days we met up with Steven and we went and had dinner with him or lunch or something. Had a couple meals with him, and then so we speed up to Friday, the first Friday coming up. We ended up going with Steven. He ended up, there was a chance, we're going to talk about that too, rain. But there was a chance of rain on Friday. And we were going to go, they said around noon or 1 o'clock. Well, if we went up there we wanted to head up that way about 9 o'clock. They have all the t-shirts. We got $10 t-shirts. $10 t-shirts.
Women's were $20.
Yeah, a lot of men's. And we've always missed usually the low price ones. But everything else was over 50, it was a better prices than what you've had at Myrtle Beach, just to be honest with you. Myrtle Beach had a lot more selection, but price-wise,
it was 50% off. So it was a $68 t-shirt. You only got it for like, what, $34?
Yeah.
So
most of the t-shirts that they had at Beach House, that's what it's called. It's in North Carolina, right across the border. And we're all right around $20 or less. All their t-shirts, and then they had the ones that were $10, and they had a lot of them. They had like probably 10 or 15 different styles for under $10, and they had some jackets. So she got a jacket, and which wasn't bad. I think we paid $50 for that.
It was $150 regularly.
Yeah, and got $50
off.
So yeah, so we got a lot better deal at up there. So we went up there, and the same thing. We don't show all the vendors there because there's people there selling. I don't know what they are. Could have been selling massage guns.
There was hot sauce. There was somebody selling those Sun City candles, I think, and there was.
Who cares? So we showed you Mustang seats, and we showed you All About Customs that does the fairings. Yeah, Wide Open Customs does the fairings, and on the fairing, the detachable fairings, and the radios that are built in. So we showed him, and that's it. Other than that, there really wasn't anybody motorcycle to us. So once again, nobody pays us to what we cover. So we kind of show you what we want to show you. So I don't get to the point where I just walk around and just aimlessly just walk past dealer vendors and show you every single vendor that's there. Why I don't do that? Because the videos would get very boring and people wouldn't watch them. So we have certain vendors that we go talk to. You know, KST. We know the guys there from KST, but we also talk to Fairing Exchange, which sells KST handlebars. Somebody else sells KST too that I think we deal with. We don't talk to all the stereo people because we deal with Sinister Sound, and plus almost everybody else sells stereos. Rick Rack sells stereos. Fairing Exchange. There's a bunch of people that sell the same stereos. So we kind of try to stick. One of the things we always do is we stick with vendors that stand behind their products. That's pretty much one of the things we do. And we don't want to oversaturate, just like we do Dan Kite. Roach that does the pinstriping does a very excellent job too. Very good guy, but he's approached us and it would said that, hey, he doesn't want to step on Dan's feet, but he says, if you guys ever need anything, let me know. I'll be happy to fix you guys up with stuff. We're like, no, we're fine. Dan does a great job for us. I have no complaints. He does our work. That's just the way I don't. If I'm happy with somebody, I'm not going anywhere else. Now, sometimes when we don't do stuff with vendors is because they've blown us off. So there's one guy there. The guy sells ram mounts. he blew me off years ago, and we probably spent $300 or $400 with that guy the first 10 years we were out riding motorcycles to put on my cameras and stuff, phones and stuff on my bike. And then we went and talked to the guy, and he's like, I don't need you. I don't need your advertising. Get away.
I've got plenty of business. Thank you.
Good. Dude, he couldn't pay me $1 million to do it. Not interested. I normally don't even, should probably fanned him a little bit this time because he's by Dan Kite, and he was also, if I'm swinging towards Adam, you might see his booth. Typically, I turn the camera away from him because he doesn't need any business. He's got enough. So we don't need to talk about him. So then there's other people that I look at that the quality of their work isn't very good. And I won't, if you're looking for something, I always tell you, you can contact me and I will tell you. We just found something out about one of the muffler bit companies. I was going to actually go talk to this because a bunch of people talk about this brand of muffler. And after talking to Speeds, does performance work. And we got a bunch of videos coming up about that. We talk about a bunch of different things. And he called this one out and said, this stuff is junk. And I'm like, really? I was almost getting ready to go talk to him about putting a muffler on her bike. And I'm like, ooh, okay. And I tried to get him to talk about it, but he says he won't badmouth them on camera. But I'm like, if they're junk, you don't want,
I don't want to tell you guys to.
So I'm not going to come out and say it either, but if you email, just like dealers, there's dealers that we highly recommend and there's dealers we do not recommend. And some of them, because we got screwed by a Harley corporation, not Harley corporate, but a group of one owner, a family of owners that own some dealerships that screw a lot of people. And if you're anywhere near the dealers, you usually pretty well know who they are. But we also have dealers that we just never got along with. Panama City is the typical one, or not Panama City, but Myrtle Beach. That's a whole long story about that. But it basically came down. We did a video for them, and the girl they used to have for marketing talked for 20 freaking minutes. I cut this video down to 5 minutes. And a bunch of you guys ended up saying, wow, that broad's got a windpipe on her for how long she talked. You didn't even see the most of it. So I had to cut a lot of it. So instead of seeing her jump, I put a clip over it from looking at the dealership. They also have the other one and showed the different dealerships and stuff. And she didn't like the way that I cut it. It made her look bad. Well, I showed it to a bunch of people. I showed it to some professional people. I showed it to other dealers. And they were like, I don't know what is wrong with it. Well, look at this one 30-second clip. Still don't see nothing wrong with it. Then when I show it to them, they're like, still don't see a problem with it. Well, she just thought it was the worst thing in the world. And her boyfriend was the social media guy. And he knew we did it on purpose and all this. Well, I ended up that year, I went back and I had filmed, they had gotten 30 minutes of coverage from us for that week. 30 minutes. They paid us nothing. They gave us no discounts on anything. They gave me nothing. So I gave this to them for free, and they still bitched about it. So what did I tell them? That's what I think. You don't get crap from me. And yeah, if I go back there, I'm not showing you their t-shirt junk crap that they're selling for a higher price than what they're doing at Beach House. We showed you Beach House stuff and talked about it. Some of the other stuff that they're selling there, some of the vendors back there, I'm not fond of their vendors that some of they have. I like Rick Ruck. I like KST. The biker bar guy, I don't talk to the biker bar guy because the biker bar guy is a moron. We've tried to talk to that guy, and we talked to the guy. I think it's the same guy. I don't know. So. They say the guy's been doing it for a long time. So when I bought my first biker bar, probably when it was the first year we went to Sturgis, 2007?
Well,
9.
No. It was after we got the trailer. So it was.
No, it was. Okay, yeah, I guess it was after we got the trailer.
2019.
Okay, so yeah, it was 2019. So and he talked to the guy. Now he didn't have a YouTube channel at that point, and he was so helpful and knew all this stuff. Well, now the guy that's in there now sits in the trailer and he watches TV, and people walk by and he's useless. He's like tits on a boar. You don't need him on a boar.
Grandpa Dude says HB Harley Davidson sucks.
It's talking about Huntington
Myrtle Beach.
Oh, and
MB, not HB. Sorry.
And so yeah, so like I say, so I am picky about who we cover because once again, this is for free, and we're trying to give you guys good information. So we don't want to just do every Tom, Dick, and Harry, and they may not be reputable, or they might not stand behind their product, or they may not put it on correctly. I don't know. There's a lot of different reasons. And some of you may not know, but we do this channel because my buddy Art. He needs to come on sometime and talk about this. He got screwed big time about 20 years ago, probably close to 25 years ago, got screwed by a dealer on a fairing, and paid $1,500 for a fairing with a radio in it. And Ben don't even sell them for that much now. And then the guy basically told us when we finally chased the guy down, he had a truck, he had a shop. Basically told us to F it if you don't like it. So that's when I decided that guy's name was Dragonfly. Screw the guy. He's pretty much not in business now. He keeps hopping around. We hear the IRS is after his butt. Keeps moving from one business to another in California. But most of the vendors that when I bring it up and talk to a vendor, I said it a couple times this year, I think in Daytona, and they're like, oh yeah, that guy was a real winner. And he was. He had no business even being in business. I don't know how many other people he screwed. But
a lot.
After that, when I started to do this, that's what we wanted. And when we talk to our vendors, we tell them that if we're going to put you on Spotlight, this is when we didn't charge anybody for anything, that you had to guarantee if we're going to put you on, you got to stand behind your product. If I have any of my subscribers have any issues that you can't satisfy, we're going to intervene in it and see if we can come to a remedy on it.
Be a mediator.
Yeah. And we've owned a business, and sometimes it might be your fault, and sometimes it's their fault. So we're gonna make the call based on what you tell me. I always talk to you first, then I call the owner of the business, and we sat down or we talk to them on the phone. And so I usually say, here's their story, and I make you put it in an email to me. So if worst comes to worst, I send them that email to make sure you've told them we're all on the same page. And so
everybody gets the same story.
So then we can figure out what can we do to make this right. Sometimes it's just like one of the instances I use every time I go to a Harley dealer is I had somebody come on my channel. And this is when we first started, and we were talking about customer satisfaction and standing behind things and stuff. And here's this guy, he's traveling across the United States. I think he was from, let's just say he was from Oklahoma, and he was up in the state of Washington State, and it was getting cold. So he went into a Harley dealer and he was going to buy a $500 leather jacket. So he throws the jacket up and he throws down his hog card. And they said, oh, you're a hog member here. And he said, no, I'm a hog member down in Oklahoma City. And they said, sorry, we don't give discount for that. And the guy says, then I don't want it. Walked away. Well, I know what they pay for. They would have had to give the guy a $50 discount. And that would have been, they would have made a whole lot more money on that $500 jacket. Well, my answer would have been, so you let that guy walk. That's the first thing. You never let somebody wants to sell something, you don't let them walk. The second thing you would do, what I would have done if I was a salesperson, I would have said, hold on a minute. Let me get the manager real quick. Let me talk to him real quick or her and see if there's something we can do for you. See, if I was the manager, this is what I would say. Here's what you do. Can't give you $50 off on that jacket, but I'll give you $50 off of anything else in motor clothes. So what's the odds are you're going to go buy something that costs more than $50 you're going to pick. So then I still made my full money on my coat for $500. And if you buy I can't tell you, I don't know if you all know what they pay for stuff. I'm not going to talk on here what they pay for, what they pay for the stuff they buy. I got enough employees that work there that we know what they spend. But let's say they sold a $75 shirt, they get $50 off. They still didn't come out too awful bad. They lost a little bit on that, on $25, but not $50. So it's always upsell and then give them something back. So that would have been, and most every GM or owner of a Harley dealer all agreed with me that would have been the best thing to do, instead of having a guy walk out pissed off that he didn't get a jacket.
$500 sale.
And so you always got to be smart in this world when you deal with customers. And we've lost a lot of that customer satisfaction and stuff like that. And I hear about it. Some of the vendors we have, there's some issues going on, but nobody's approached me yet with any of those issues. So a lot of it could just be idle gossip. We actually call us all a bunch of carnies. This rally stuff that we're rolling around, it's a lot like a bunch of carny people that work at the carnivals that travel from town to town to do their thing. And some of them are carny people. I'm not going to say who, not most of the vendors, but some of those people that sell stuff are like carny. They are carny people. But it's a lot of fun. We enjoy what we do. And so, but the people that we show, we always stand behind their work. We were actually at a dealership that had vendors one time. It wasn't a normal bike rally. It was an event that we went to. And so I'm filming. I'm walking along and I'm filming. And here's a guy that's doing some lights. Got a little 10 by 10 tent. Doesn't even have a sign up. Who he is. Doesn't say what he's selling. If it's Zero lights, if it's, what's the other one?
Custom
dynamic lighting, nothing. I don't know. I started getting the camera close to it. I'm like, what the hell is that guy doing? He's standing there. I get a wire. He's taking a wire and he's splicing it together and he's rubbing his fingers together. He takes some black tape and he wraps around it and he sticks it up against the frame and he's taping it around it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting out of here. I don't want to see any more of this guy's stuff. This is just a nightmare. And even if he's doing it for free, he's screwing up somebody's bike. He's just cutting wires and he's wire testing. Not even, at least he could have used some crimpers, but the ideal way to be was solder, which you don't see a lot of that at the vendor level. You don't really see a lot of guys out there soldering things like we should be doing all that. But that's the way it is, what it is. Even some dealerships don't even do soldering, like, makes it permanent, put some heat shrink over it, shrink it back down, gets a good airtight, water resistant, all that good stuff. And so it is what it is. But you want to make sure. And it's just like there's some guys that, they'll do your stereo. And you should, if you're having work done on your bike, they're doing electrical work or they're doing air shocks or whatever they're doing on your bike, you should kind of keep an eye on what they're doing. You want to see, before they put your fairing cover back on, your outer fairing, you want to see what those wires look like inside. You want to make sure it doesn't look like a spider web inside there, that maybe there's like 100 spiders in there that made a big giant mess in there. Because if you ever take it someplace to get fixed, something else worked on, the odds are somebody's just going to cut all that crap out. That's what a lot of dealerships have done in the past. You want to make sure that if somebody's doing wires, they've either wire loomed them all together, they've zippy tied them together or whatever, to where everything's nice and neat, to where when it pulls off, if I need to work on the radio or I need to work on your gauges, I can get to them without moving all the crap that somebody aftermarket guy stuck in there. We had one the other day, I think it was in Daytona, it was at Rick Rack, and a guy had a stereo put in, and Rick Rack was putting a light in. They pulled the gas tank off, and here's the guy's power wire for his new amp was laying on top of the heads. The guy didn't take the gas tank off to run the wire. And he had paid over $2,000 last year in Daytona for somebody to do a stereo. Because when they pulled it off, I was standing there and like, you need to call the customer. So they know that you didn't do that. Let them see that. I don't care if it's going to take a few minutes for the guy to get back over here. Call him immediately. And the guy came over and I was standing there. It was in Daytona. It was at the dealership was where we were at. It was Rick Rack. And we were standing there and I'm like, and the guy walked up and he looked at it and I'm like, who did that for you? Because I'm asking, because I'm wanting to know. And he told me and I'm like, man, but it's another one. I ain't showing you who them people. So if I'm not showing you, you might be leery of some of these people. Not saying that not everybody we talk to, but I walk around. I was an auto mechanic. This stuff is just like almost all this aftermarket stuff is auto mechanic stuff. There's no science going on here. But there's all different kinds of quality of work. Somebody's got to take pride in their work, and when I look at some of this stuff, when you see us go to certain places to get work done, there's certain guys I only let work on my bike or work on her bike. I don't trust all the guys that work at all these different venues. I have no idea who some of these guys are. Some of these guys are brand new guys that just showed up this week.
Yeah.
Where the hell did they come from? I don't know. I'm not going to find out. After a while, I'll watch them and I'll get an idea because I'm always looking. I'm taking a camera and it may not show up on a video, but most of the vendors that we do, I have, like if I'm at Rick Rack or I'm at Ciro or I'm at Joey's, All About Customs, pretty much all the vendors we have. I walk over to Chain and says, stay away. But as soon as they look around, they're like, oh, it's him. It's okay. He can walk around. And all the new guys look at me and they're like, get out of my way, dude. I'm like an employee. And so I see all this stuff. And so it is. And that's why I said, we have no problem telling you, but you need to email us or phone call us or meet me at a booth or something like that. And we'll make sure you get the right guy to install or the right guy to work on your bike or whatever, to make sure you get what you're paying for. And, if you're thinking about, hey, I'm thinking about getting this done and I'm going to go to these guys, and I'll go, no.
That's not average price for one.
What?
$39.95 for a t-shirt at a Harley dealer.
No, try about $55. It's getting up to now. It's about average price now is about $50 for a Taiwan t-shirt. I don't buy it. I'll just take one. I thought it was the new one I had. You put my new ones up there, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And but yeah, they but you also have to watch now because bigger dealers are allowed to go to the aftermarket and put Harley emblems on cheaper shirts than what Harley Davidson does, and then they up the price to the same price. So they're allowed a percentage, which I did know it, but I don't know what it is anymore, that they can go on the open market and buy based on how much they buy. If they buy $1 million worth of shirts a year, they're allowed to buy $100,000 or whatever of aftermarket shirts, and they can put the Harley emblems on it.
We've been buying poker chips now, Neil, and I've paid from as little as $2.50 up to $6.95 for a poker chip. It depends on what dealer you're at.
$6.95, I'd tell them to stick it up their butt. I wouldn't have paid that. See, I got a limit. All the things I do, you look at the stuff, and it's crazy how we had a friend that spent $15,000 in Sturgis at one of the vendors, and it's like I couldn't even picture spending that much money. Spend $3,500 on my motorcycle, or had the motor work. It was a lot of money to spend, but I mean, a lot of you probably spent a lot more than that. But
and his mom was like that when the kids were big, and one daughter used to always like to wear Abercrombie, and she would just have a fit. She's like, "How much do they pay you to wear that shirt?" And my daughter's like, "Oh, Grandma, I had to pay like $50 for this shirt." And she's like, "You're advertising for them because it's got, of course, Abercrombie all over it." And the same thing with Harley. You're advertising for them, and you're paying them $50 to advertise for them.
But that's what the world is about, because it's all about showing your brand. But what I've noticed this time in Myrtle Beach is how many people are wearing Harley gear and they don't own a motorcycle. A lot of them, especially at this rally. I really didn't, I guess because we spent a lot more time in Murrells Inlet this time than we've ever done before, that I've seen a lot more stuff than I have seen before, that I haven't seen before.
Well, the difference between Suck Bang Blow and Beaver Bar.
Well, I always knew that difference.
Age group.
Yeah, I always knew that anyway. But like that Cycle Drag tried to say that Myrtle Beach is the ultimate party place. Well, I think he only went to Suck Bang Blow. I don't see, when I skimmed through the video, it looked like that's the only place he was at.
But that's where we saw him cross over to
I know,
Beaver
but he was
Bar.
already, no, he crossed over to the barbecue place.
That's right.
So I don't know if he went over to eat or if he parked his car over there or whatever he did. But it doesn't make any difference. But I would not say Myrtle Beach is the ultimate biker party place. No way. The problem with that saying is every rally has a party place. Sturgis has a bunch of them, but it depends on where you're at. Suck Bang Blow is a bomb with a fuse on it. Why? Because it gets too crowded. It's too small of a place for the crowd that gets in there. Too rowdy. There's been a lot of people that have gotten hurt, people that have gotten stabbed, people that's got their brains kicked in, a lot more than it should. It worries me because they're the same ones that now own the Knuckle in Sturgis. They're taking the outside part there, had the bar, they're turning it into Suck Bang Blow. Could be a very big problem. Problem is, they don't realize that Sturgis is about to get a big shakeup. And we'll talk about that in a later time. Sturgis major shakedown coming up. Oh, you wouldn't? You should have heard what I heard today. I'll talk about it later. I won't tell it here. But I got some dirt. I just got on Sturgis today, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is from the mayor. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe that. We'll talk about it another time. It's not Sturgis time. It's Myrtle Beach time. But we got a lot of breaking news coming up on Sturgis, and things may definitely be changing in the motorcycle rally community there. So we'll move on. So Myrtle Beach. So that was one of the things I was saying. It depends on where you're at to where you're at. Now, I noticed this year it's definitely an older crowd at the Myrtle Beach. Definitely an older crowd. Older than I've seen in a while. Now you can go over to, but I mean, even if you go over to Suck Bang Blow, it's a younger crowd, but it's probably still about 50-50, 50% older people, 50% younger. There's some kids running around there that probably shouldn't even be in there. I have never seen so many freaking kids at a motorcycle rally. Dude, lady, woman, you got a baby in a stroller? What kind of parent are you to bring them to a freaking motorcycle rally? You're pushing the kids down the side of the road. You're stupid. There's no business for little kids to be at a motorcycle rally. I don't care what you think. There's women that are half dressed. There's people cussing. There's drunk people. It's like taking a kid to a bar. You wouldn't do that under normal circumstances to say, hey, let's go hang out at the bar tonight, family. Let's have fun. You maybe go there to eat, but I've never seen we've seen this one poor little kid. He was probably, I don't know, 8. And he was he looked like a cowboy. He had some cowboy boots on, jeans. He had like a little vest in. Yeah, I think he had a cowboy hat on. So we're sitting there at Suck Bang Blow, and they're walking down. There's like 4 adults and this kid. This kid's about 4 people behind him. He's pretty far back. You couldn't reach him with your arm. The dad or the brother, whoever the hell the people that were with this kid. And
it was Mother's Day.
Oh yeah, well, there you go. So they're down there and they're kind of standing in front of where we're standing at. So we're here for quite a while watching this kid. And so this kid, every time these waitresses go by, where if you know what those waitresses there, that Karen's there, that one slip move and her boob would be hanging out. And her crotch is pretty much, there's not much to the imagination with most of those girls. You don't have to look, you don't have to close your eyes to imagine what is still there or what you didn't see. Well, this little kid's like, he's watching all this stuff. And it's like, you put a kid into something like that, and now the way schools are and stuff like that, that kid goes back to school with a little bit of an attitude or something about thinking about he could do something to women or little girls. And next thing you know, the parents are called in and like, I don't know what he did. I don't know where he got that idea. Stupid people have no business bringing little kids. Last year there was a kid that was 17 years old that was at Suck Bang Blow. Suck Bang Blow seems to be the place that gets the younger kids. But I mean, we've seen some over walking around. There were some little 12, 14, 15-year-old girls walking by themselves over by the Beaver Bar yesterday. I got them on camera. I don't know. I might show them. I normally don't like to show little kids. But
there was one girl, and I mean, I know they all look really young nowadays. And she was drinking a drink. It looked like a screwdriver. And maybe it was just orange juice. But the way she was sucking it down, I'm just thinking, that girl does not look old enough to be.
And I don't know if they're carding. There was some place we stopped. Oh, it was in the back bar. When we were sitting there watching the 8 o'clock thing come up, they carded that girl. That little girl had the cowboy boots. I said, look, I've never seen so many biker girls with shorts on with cowboy boots. I thought, hey, look, you can wear your cowboy boots with your shorts. And but
not on a bike.
But that's my first thing. Way too many kids. We usually see a few in Sturgis, but here we've seen a lot of freaking kids down there in Myrtle's Inlet. Don't need it. It doesn't need to be. And I like it when they have, it's like when we stayed at Windy Acres, 21 and older. If you ain't 21, you can't get in the campground. And that's what a lot of these venues should do. These bars are taking a gamble. If they would end up getting a cop, find out some kids got served there, they're shut down. They lose their liquor license. And I should say something too, Leslie, and about that there was a lot of kids running around, and they should screw that. Put a sign up. You got to be 21 and older to get on the property. Because if she loses her liquor license, there's no more Beaver Bar. Suck Bang Blow loses their license. They're done. They're out of business. So
Gerald said a woman with 3 small kids asked him if they was having a parade down Main Street in Biketoberfest.
Well, see, what's the problem with Daytona is that that's a tourist area. That's a tourist street. So half the people that are on Main Street are not bikers. They're not anybody that even knew there was a bike rally going on. There are people that come off the beach and like, oh, look at all those people. What the hell's going on? Let's go see. Oh, wow. Look at what's going on. Look at all the pretty bikes. Oh, look at that. And they have no idea.
Mr. Bill now?
Yeah, I'm Mr. Bill. But I mean, it's just crazy. But those I understand because you see a crowd, you want to go see what's going on. You know, we probably would do that too. If I was down there at the beach and I seen something like that going on, like, oh, let's go see what's going on over there. Oh, it's a motorcycle rally. Oh, it's kind of interesting. They got a motorcycle. It's at home in the garage. Let's go walk around and see what they got going on. But I wouldn't go all the way to Myrtle's Inlet, which is like, if I was coming to Myrtle Beach and I was down there in the beachy area and the hotels and all that, to me, Myrtle's Inlet would be like the armpit of the world. That is nothing like a tourist area. Now you get down a little farther and they got some of the good restaurants and stuff on there, then yeah. But the Beaver Bar, Suck Bang Blow, all that round in there is just dirty. Not dirty, nasty, just dirty. It's a
There's
biker
no
bar.
sidewalks and yeah,
It's like a bar. It's like a good old bar. It's not even like a Sharky's or what's that place that's got the pinball machines inside? Buster's. Dave and Buster's. It's not like that where Dave and Buster's you can bring your kids because there's the area that the kids can play games and stuff. I think you can bring kids in there.
Dave and Buster's?
Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Oh, it's been a long time since I've been Dave and Buster's. But it's not one of those places. So I wouldn't, if I came to Myrtle, which we've been to Myrtle Beach when the kids were little, she would have never even dreamed of taking our girls down there during a motorcycle rally. Just there'd be no way. She'd say, you go, I'll stay back with the girls. And so that would have been the way it would have gone. I would have, I don't know. But I mean, that was one of the things I had a real big problem with. And I filmed some of these people. The other one was people with their freaking dogs. You people bringing stupid dogs to a bike show or bike rally, you're retarded. Because if that dog bites me, I'm suing your ass. I'm going to own you, your dog, Toto, and Wizard of Oz. Because they have no business bringing to a place that's that congested. Dog is a freaking animal. It's not a human. It's not somebody you can talk to. It's like the guy that works at Suck Bang Blow, and I talked to him. I got him on camera. His dog was with him the whole time. Well, the last day we went there on Friday, he had the dog's ears covered up. Didn't you see a little dog walking around? He was in the parking lot where the guy said we were parked too close to him. Oh. And I talked to the guy, and I told him, "Is that your dog?" And he's like, "Yeah, I bring him to the rally all the time. You'll get used to everything sooner or later." Well, sooner than later.
It's like that monkey. That lady had that monkey.
Yeah. And it's like, that's cruel to animals. It's like bringing a dog to a fireworks display. You're asking for trouble. And you're putting a dog in a situation it's not comfortable in. And the company I used to work for, they always tell you that. The dog that's never bit anybody, you'll always be a first. And you don't know a dog in a circumstance. Dog could get its foot stepped on, just naturally spins around and bites you. Who's looking down? Like this guy's dog was about that big. So in the crowd, it'd be easy to step on this dog or give him a football kick across the field. So whatever it would. I mean, that you have no business bringing dogs to a motorcycle rally. Take them. But I mean, people come, well, I brought my RV. I can't leave my dog in the trailer. Then you shouldn't have came to the RV. You shouldn't have came to the motorcycle rally. If your dog needs to be with somebody all the time, I'm sorry. Maybe it shouldn't. It's not a trap. Because the lady over here people just moved in with 2 dogs. People behind us said, "How the hell do you people travel with dogs?" They said, "Well, we have crates. We put them in when they're in the car." But I mean, that's just what they do to get them transport them. But it's like she wants another dog, and that's the same reason. I don't want another dog right now because we travel too much. Charlie was 1 in a million. We could leave him in the trailer for 8 to 12 hours, and he didn't care. He was glad when we got back, and if we got back too soon, he wanted to. Oh, the light's too bright. Close the door. Because we have blackout curtains. So it's during the day, it's pitch black here. So if I didn't get up in the morning, she'd be sleeping until the next day, probably. She don't know it's 8 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock. Hello.
I know. I hear him, and all of a sudden he raises the window up.
So I showed her there's light outside.
Like, I want to know. I want to sleep.
But yeah, it's I understand. Here's the lowdown of all this. It's getting to be family friendly. That's why girls can't pop them out anymore. That's why people get scolded. That's why the police are always looking around. It's family friendly. When did motorcycle rallies become family friendly? I don't know. Probably about early 2000s is probably when I would say things started getting kind of family friendly. Things are obscene now. Inappropriate. Don't know. So overall, the rally, what was weird about this rally, first of all, we are going to start a boycott on the National Weather Service and newscasters, meteorologists. We are going to boycott them. And we're going to start this tonight. You need to contact your meteorologist or whatever the hell they are, or National Weather Service, and tell them they're full of crap. They've done this now twice. Daytona, they told us months before, weeks before, a week before, it was going to 90% chance of rain in Daytona. Don't go to Daytona.
For all 10 days.
And when it rained, 1 hour. And it ruined a lot of people's plans because they canceled. They didn't go. They did the exact same thing here. Stupid morons. They said it's Saturday. Going to rain all day. Saturday. That was yesterday. And it's going to rain all day Sunday. Today. So what happened? A lot of people packed up on Friday night and said, we're getting the hell out of here. We're not putting up with the rain. Well, here's what they did on Saturday. They came up and said at 11:45, I'm looking at my radar, rain, thunderstorms will be coming. Thunderstorms. A warning. They put the warning on the screen. Warning, Will Robertson, warning. Then it changed to 12:45. Warning. 1:45. Warning. Still ain't got no thunderstorms yet. They're still talking. 2:45. 3:45. Then they came back at 4 o'clock and said 10%. You know how much rain we got on Saturday? You know how much rain we got on Saturday night? How much rain we got on Sunday? They don't know.
Jack.
We need to boycott them. We need to complain. They need to quit talking during bike rallies. Typically, I watch the weather. I watch my radar. And I see what they're predicting. This storms have done the same thing for the whole week we've been here. The storms come in. Here's Myrtle Beach right here. Remember that little spot? And it goes, and the other one goes, and it bypasses us. So we did get a little rain. It did rain. It did rain. Was it Tuesday?
Tuesday, most of the day it rained. Yes. Tuesday.
By 6 o'clock, it was gone. But Tuesday was the only day we really had rain all day. We had one other time that we had a spot shower for about 15 minutes. And that was it. All the rain we had. Now, it was a cloudy, overcast this whole week pretty much. We only had a few days. It was really sunny during the rally. But no rain. But it was hot and muggy. Today's cold. On the motorcycle, 71 degrees. It was cold.
I'm glad I took my jacket. And I was still chilly.
Yeah, I didn't have my jacket on. It was cold. But it was okay. 45, no big deal. So that's the first thing. Boycott. And we're going to need to start this. And we're going to talk about this all the way up into through Sturgis. I'm going to complain about this. Because this is crap. That they make these morons get paid big money. And they're wrong. And they're like, thank you. Here's a raise. You're doing a great job, you stupid morons.
Well, they've got all of this technology, all this equipment, all the Doppler radar and the weather, whatever, and the forecast. And they are so scientific and they've got this down to they've got it. They know what's going on.
But if they would just watch, just like I did, when I started watching this and seeing how the storms are going, I could already see the wind, the Arctic air coming down, and we see the Gulf Stream air coming up, and you could see how it's forming. This whole week it's exactly the same all week long. And I'm not a meteorologist, didn't go to school to be one, but I could pretty much say I don't think it's going to rain. I don't think it's going to rain. And I actually predicted the weather a lot better than they did this week. And I didn't even get paid for it. So that's my first complaint. The other thing we want to talk about was one of our subscribers said they seen a bunch of stuff on the news how the Myrtle Beach police were coming after motorcycle people for all kinds of stuff. We seen 2 motorcycles pulled over.
1 or 2. I remember 2. 1.
And we saw 5 cars pulled over.
And a golf cart.
Have you seen a golf cart pulled over? I didn't see a golf cart. So there you go. So yes, can a motorcycle person get pulled over? Of course. But there was more cars pulled over that we seen than motorcycles. So when people always say that, they're only after the motorcycles. Well, they weren't. I seen older people in the cars. We filmed some of them. We'll show some of that. We're just going by, so it's just a quick look. But we always film it because we want to show you, hey, is it a motorcycle? Is it a truck? Is it a car? What is it? Because here we don't have any connection with the police. We talked to the sheriff one time here, but we just seen him at the dealership and they talked a few seconds for us. But we don't get to talk to them like we do at Sturgis and also at Ormond Beach. We got a great relationship with them and they love to give us out great information. And I would like to get it here, but we don't have a connection. And a lot of times the dealerships help us with that sometimes. And like I say, we don't have much of a deal. the North Myrtle lot up there, we've always had a great relationship with them up there. They've been very nice. The sales team up there, the sales manager, one of our subscribers, she works there.
Yep. Heather.
Yep. She was on. She actually talked for Myrtle Beach. They may not have liked it, but she did a great job. Said, come on down and see me here at North Myrtle. I'll sell you some clothes. And so it was great. But so, yeah, I don't have any heartburn about the dealership because that's the same guy who owns that one. I don't know the owner. I think his name's Phil. Don't know him. Never met him. Seen him. A lot of dealerships we never get. That's usually what happens with most of these dealerships that we have trouble with. The owners are like vacant owners. They don't want to be involved with the dealer. They might be involved behind the scenes. They don't want to be involved in front of what's going on. And so Adamak, we had an issue with Adamak for years. We didn't have any trouble with Adamak. And then the guy got to be some guy was a real smart ass to me at the dealership. And I'm like, screw you, dude. You know, once again, it's free advertising. Even bad advertising is free. But we do. We thank Topless Tuesday for bad mouthing me last year because they've already made me about $1,500. Thank you, Topless Tuesday, for being buttholes and saying bad things about it. I'm going to do a video soon before then. So I'm hoping they're going to talk about me again. So next year it'll be busy again. I'll do a highlight video and bring people out. And that's the funny thing because this video is up to like 500,000 views now or something. And it's one I did 2 years ago. And it's the one we walk around before the show and tell you that. And a guy writes, I get like 3 guys a month where there was no boobies on there, man. You're clickbaiting. You're clickbaiting. If you're coming to YouTube looking for boobies, other than finding these people that do, it's a gynecologist exam or it's a breast for cancer awareness or something. Those people can't make any money on that. There's some girl doing a see-through one now on videos, and she puts a thing up and says, I'm just doing these videos for adults and blah, 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 blah. It's just porn. All these ones are just porn sites of what they're doing. They're trying to get it to where you can put it on YouTube. I'm not going to do that. If we can't make a few dollars putting out these videos, then why? It's just like Adam Amsoil, why he's had so much trouble with him flagging him for stuff. I think this year, I think this rally he did all right. He didn't get any flags. But, you know, the idea is why spend all this time to work on a video, spend a whole day trying to put a video together, and then you find out that YouTube says, well, sorry, we're not going to give you the pennies that you normally would get. So we wouldn't even show. But that's not what the video's about. It's about us walking around and we talk to people there, and like we do on most of our videos, and show you what's kind of going on and the vendors and the girls that are bartending and all that good stuff, and that's all it's about.
Russell said he was here 4 days, never saw a motorcycle pulled over, only cars and trucks.
There you go.
Motorcycles were mostly obeying the law and the speed limit.
Wasn't until the end of the week we've seen more. So the busy days were, was it Saturday? First Saturday? Friday. Oh, last Friday. Last Friday was a big crowd. A lot of people, because we were down Myrtle and it opened up. The Beaver Bar opened up. Amsoil, Adam, all them are open. I don't think Tuck Bang Blow is supposed to open because they're actually in Horry County. They did.
Horry.
They opened the back and everything else. They were still on Monday. They were still setting up some of the stuff out back. So I don't know. I think they just tinkered with what they were supposed to do. They didn't officially open on Friday like they were telling everybody they were, but that's okay. And but there was a really good crowd down at the Beaver Bar and all that stuff. There was a lot of people there. Saturday was not bad. It was so-so. It was a little hotter, but not too bad. Monday we went to the dealership, and we seen Rick Rack. I think when we walked by the camera, he was saying, "Look at all the people in my booth, man. Everybody comes where they know they need," whatever he said. And he had a big crowd, and there was a pretty good underneath their tent that they were selling their T-shirts at. There was a lot of people under there. And a lot of bikes out front. There was a lot more bikes out front than there was people out back.
Well, there might have been some inside.
I kind of looked in the window and I didn't really see that many people inside. But it's always weird like that. You see that and you always think Main Street churches like that. You get 2,500 bikes there and it doesn't seem like there's 2,500 people walking around or in the stores. But I don't know. I always wondered that if people just take their bikes and park them there and then go off and do something else. Like, hey, jump on I'll leave your bike. Let's leave your bike there. Jump on my bike and we'll take off. It's just a safe place to leave it at the Harley dealer. I don't know. Could happen. But so that was Monday. Tuesday it rained. We got in the truck and we did just some run around stuff. I don't know if we went anywhere or not on Tuesday. I don't know what the video was on Wednesday. I had to go back and look at it. So then
we just drove around and showed because the parking lot was full of just cars and trucks. No bikes.
Yeah, there was no bikes that day. And same thing when we drove around, went down to Myrtle's Inlet. There wasn't hardly any bikes. There was a few bikes at Suck Bang Blow. There was like 6 bikes or 8 bikes out front. That was about it. There's always the brave souls that'll go out there. I don't care if it's rain or not. I want to get drunk anyway. What difference does it make? So there was a few out. And then so Wednesday, I think they were starting to predict rain on from Wednesday on, off and on. And so Wednesday, I don't even know what the heck we did on Wednesday. But we kind of bounced around a lot of the bars and stuff like that. And we did our series on the restaurants too. That might have been, I think the day it was raining, we went around and did the restaurants. What day we ate at Judy Boone's on Tuesday. That first Tuesday is when we ate at Judy Boone's because it closed on Mondays.
Yeah.
So we ate there. So we did the restaurant video on Wednesday. That's what came out on Wednesday was the restaurant. What are you doing with your fingers?
Nothing. My ring was turned. I turned it the right way.
So that was kind of what there. Thursday, but so starting Thursday, well, what ended up happening here, it looked like Friday and Saturday, we had a really good crowd started coming in. But then come Sunday and Monday, wasn't a whole lot of people here. So it seemed like, they came in for the first weekend, did their stuff, and they left. Well, then come Wednesday, Thursday, started building up a crowd again. Thursday and Friday ended up, after we talked to all the vendors and what we seen, those were the busiest days. Friday was the busiest day anywhere. More bikes were out here. I've never, on 4 years of coming down here, I have never seen the bike traffic out here on the 17 business that we seen then. It was pretty much no matter which way you were going, it was just steady bikes. Very seldom there'd be a pause that you might see 4 or 5 cars. Not saying there wasn't cars mixed in with the bikes, but you could, anyway, as soon as you look down the road, there was bikes, and I'd say, oh, she'd be on the back. I'd say, pin the camera around, there's bikes coming up behind us. And so there was a lot there on Friday. And I'm thinking, man, Saturday is going to be crazy. It is going to be madhouse here. So we kind of waited a little bit to go out. We thought, well, let's wait till about 10 o'clock, 11. Let's go out and we'll check everything out. It was like, oh my gosh, where did everybody go? And it was just, even the Harley dealer wasn't crowded in the parking lot. A lot of cars that were parked out in the grass out by between the parking lot and 17B. A lot of people were backing in there. They were backing down the road. And you couldn't park in the main parking lot after that point because bikes were coming back. Then we went over to Suck Bang Blow, and it was like, this is like 4 o'clock. And it's like, oh my gosh, where's everybody at? We sat down there for a little while, and there was people down there at the back. It seemed like there was a lot of bikes parked there, but it seemed like a lot of people were coming and going. We got a spot right up front, right by the walkway to get up to the little bar vendor area. And we didn't really show the vendors there. They were really the same vendors that always were there. There wasn't anything really new. And same thing with clothing, jewelry.
And that patch shop was all along the side when you first pull in. So,
I don't know. And we didn't go walk by JP Cycle. We took the camera past JP Cycle, but we didn't go in there and show you anything. We talked to we know the guy that did the windshields. He's
Leah, the Bug Slide Girl's fiance.
Yeah. So we know him. Can't think of his name, but we know him. So he did the video because once again, somebody we know, and he was comfortable talking to us and talking about the windshields they had in stock for the new 2024. So it's kind of neat. And that was all through JP Cycles.
You should have got Shane on all the stuff he's got for.
Yeah, we'll get him in Sturgis, I guess. He was pretty busy. And so that was kind of how it is. And then Saturday was just, you could tell things weren't going good. This is like, I don't know, 6, 7 o'clock. We're down at Myrtle's Inlet. Some of the vendors have already packed up and closed up. They put all their stuff away. They're not even there no more. The trucks or trailers are still sitting there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a bit worse than I thought. And we started talking to people, and they're like, yeah, there's not much. Even Rick Rack said it wasn't at all what they were expecting for a Saturday. And they're probably one of the busier vendors that we see at the rallies. But it was sad. And then so today we went out. We got out about, 10 o'clock, I guess, 9:30, 10. And went past the dealers. Well, we noticed that coming home. When we came home, it was about 10 o'clock on Saturday night. We came back. Yeah. We went down to Dagwoods. We ate there because we stayed down in, where were we at? Beaver Bar. Is that where we were at all that time?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, we're sitting down there at Beaver Bar watching all the stuff going on.
And we stopped at Speed's. That's where we parked and sat there for a while.
And talked to them again. And then we headed back, and we're like, it's like 9:30. And I'm like, do you want to get something to eat? And she goes, well, I am kind of hungry. So we kind of looked around. She goes, there's McDonald's. I'm like, I really don't want to do McDonald's. So he's in that what is it?
Dagwood.
Dagwood.
Remember Dagwood?
Yeah, I know what it is, but I couldn't think of what it was called. And I went in there. It was really good. I was very impressed. And so it's like 10:30 by the time we get out of there. When we go past the dealership, it's like, oh my gosh, some of the trucks are already gone. And a KST was already was gone. A couple of the other ones were all closed up. I could see Rick Wreck in the back was still set up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, people are they're already heading out.
When we got there this morning, Rick Wreck was halfway tore down.
Yeah, pretty much everybody was. And then we go down to Myrtle's Inlet. It's around lunchtime, I guess. And most of the vendors were all tearing down. We went down by Amsoil Adam. He said he did 2 oil changes this morning, first thing, and then
they were just about all packed up too.
Yeah. So it was this weekend was really sad. I blame it on the weather people again, just like in Daytona. We probably would have had a lot more people in Daytona if it wasn't for them stupid morons that think they know about weather. They'd be better off saying 50% chance of rain, 50%. It's going to be a beautiful weekend.
That's what they should say.
Take it to that. That way you take it with a grain of, because every day there's a 50% chance the weather's going to change. Isn't that true?
Depends on which way the wind blows.
Which way they're blowing it in.
So Dying Breed Media says he got Freedom Shields for his 2024 Road Glide and should have a review on it soon. Weather has not been the greatest where he's at, I guess. And then Steven said that up in North Myrtle, they said that their sales was successful. He doesn't know the number, but his one friend sold 21 bikes.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because I worried about that. I told them that originally, that typically I go to a motorcycle rally. I think the last thing I'm thinking about doing is buying a motorcycle. I think it's impulse buying. If you're going to a dealership during a motorcycle rally, Sturgis, Daytona, I don't think you're there to look for a great deal. That would be my thought.
You just see a bike that catches your eye and they make a good deal and it's yours.
And same thing when I went and bought my bike. I took my bike in for a service and next thing you know, I rode out with a new bike.
Yeah.
So the same thing. I wasn't looking to buy a bike. So by not having barefoot landing, there was not a reason to go all the way up there. There isn't nothing up there that's special. You know, that's 20 miles to drag a truck up that way to go look at some new bikes. Okay, unless you got no dealer around where you're at or you don't like your dealer. Bad thing about buying a bike, it's like buying anything anywhere. You're always going to get a better service from the place you buy from because they made money on your bike. So you buy a bike here in Myrtle Beach. I go down here. Let's say I buy a brand new bike. I take it home. I get back to Arizona and I start having problems with it. Well, I call the dealership up. Not saying that they would do this, but I bet you if I bought that bike from them at my Kingman Harley Davidson dealer, they would probably get me in next day or so, maybe even same day. But if I bought the bike from Myrtle Beach, they're going to say, let me look at the appointment here. How about in 2 weeks we'll get your bike in? Not saying, just saying. Because it's all about customer service. So if I'm buying my bike from you, I'm going to do more for you because I want to sell you another bike someday. So if I'm just getting your service, we'll just put you in with all the other customers that we have. We want to treat you good, but we're going to add you to the other people. And we're not going to give you the front of the line. We're going to put you at the end of the line because you got to wait your turn.
Talk about dropped bikes.
Oh, yes. I've never seen so many bikes dropped. We're probably close to a dozen bikes we've seen dropped. Several of them right here on the 17B business thing. He just dropped them at stop signs and stuff, stop lights. I don't know what it is. We're
all getting older.
Well, I think my guess is there's a lot. This rally brings in a lot more unexperienced riders. That's my thought. Because it wasn't all in the Myrtle's Inlet. Some of them were in Myrtle's Inlet, and some of them were out on the 17B. Some of them were not anywhere near the Harley dealer or Suck Bang Blow or broken or spokes and bones. Nowhere near that. It was down by the Dairy Queen. Guy pulls on the side. So I think a lot of it is unexperienced people. Could be people drinking. It's possible you're drunk and stupid. One was a girl. She was trying to back the bike in the park. This girl, I already had picked this girl when I seen her. She pulled up on like an Evo or something. I don't know what she was riding. It wasn't a very big bike, and I only seen the front of it. And when she's backing it up, she's got chaps on. She got shorts and chaps on. She got a leather jacket on. She got a full face helmet on. And I could just tell when she rode in, she just bought this bike. She bought all this gear. And here I am. I'm a motorcycle. I'm a biker. And she pulls the bike in. She thought she was putting the kickstand on. I didn't see the kickstand go down. But all of a sudden, she just went right into this guy on his bike. Time I got over there, they had already got her up. Because I'm like, that girl's going to fall. And she was backing it up. So it wasn't like a street glide or nothing like that. It wasn't a heritage.
It's kind of like, what was it, a breakout? Is that?
Yeah, but it was an older one. So it wasn't a very, it looked a lot like, it was a little bit bigger than a Sportster. But it wasn't a big bike. And she was flat-footed, so it wasn't like she was, because I see a lot of these people that ride bikes that they're tiptoeing, and we used to ride with a bunch of girls, and they always dropped them in the grass every time we made U-turns and going through a parking lot that's grass that we're parking in for a bike event. There you go, because they're going too slow and they can't touch the ground very good. And once you get that heavy weight going one way or the other, it's going. That happens on anybody, but I seen this rally more than I've ever seen at any other rally. And somebody say, well, you were riding more. We ride all the time. So just to let you know, for the last 3 rallies, Leesburg, Panama City, and here, we have rode on my bike 1,200 miles. Just to let you know. And that's going nowhere. I mean, we haven't gone any long rides. That's not Daytona. This was from Panama City on.
Part of learning the game.
Leesburg on. So I don't know. I worry about, and we're going to do another video on this too, because it's people get mad all the time when people talk about this. I talk about it too, and people get mad at me when we talk about there's roads you shouldn't come to because you don't have the experience to, how am I going to get the experience? Well, you get the experience by going out and doing S curves in a parking lot. You go out and go take an advanced rider's course. If you can pass that advanced rider course, and they give you a thumbs up and said, damn, you did a great job, then yeah, let's come on out with me and go on Needles Highway. But if you're going to have to ride your brakes and do 20 miles an hour all the way down Needles Highway, then you're not experienced enough or you're too scared to ride it. Then don't put yourself in a situation that you're scared. If you're not used to riding in bumper to bumper traffic, you should be very cautious about the time. Like we have a gentleman that's over here. He doesn't like to ride after 6 o'clock at night. They're back at their camp. They blame it on the dog. But I think part of it is he just doesn't want to deal with the stuff that goes on at night.
Well, he says he doesn't sleep very well at night either.
But I mean, he's comfortable with what he does. Yeah. Goes out at 10 o'clock in the morning, rides till 6 o'clock at night, does all the rally, goes all the places. He's comfortable, and that's what you should do. Do what you're comfortable with. If you're doing something that I'm kind of scared, I don't know if I can get out of this park. Here's what happened to me yesterday. So we're coming out of Spokes and Bones, and if you've been here, Spokes and Bones is actually a boat dealership. And you come in one side of the property, you go through a double gate, and you go around the back, and there's got parking all down this one side and across the one front of the bar. And in the front, there's parking too. But if you got to go in the back, you kind of make a big loop, and you come back around the far side of their shop or whatever that building is. I don't know what that building is. But you come out, but that's the same entrance people are coming into. So we pull up to it.
Because the JP Cycles was there this year.
Yeah, but you still.
That's why. I think the other time you were supposed to come in the other way and you go out that way.
No, because you wouldn't be able to park on where I like to park in front there. So it doesn't matter. So we come around the corner of the building and I stop and there's bikes coming in and they come down a little bit of a hill, a little bit of a driveway in. So I'm sitting there a few minutes and about 5 bikes go by and I'm imagining up. Nobody's doing anything. So I see there's probably a car and a half, maybe 2 car lengths. Then the guy's just kind of getting close to just coming down the hill. So we kind of speed up. This guy starts yelling at me. I don't know what the hell he said. He still was nowhere near hitting my bike. And I'm thinking, my first thought is, if you're a stupid moron that don't know how to come down a hill and slow down a little bit, or even have to stop on that hill, you shouldn't be riding a motorcycle. You're not experienced enough to be able to go in and out of a parking lot. She had a little trouble today coming out of
it was at
Adams. We're coming up the hill there. She didn't let the clutch out fast enough, so it started rolling back. And I said, You need to give gas, and but you did. Once you did it, you did. You got out fine.
You need to ride my bike a little more. You
know.
can't give it much gas or it'll take off. So you got to find that little sweet spot.
That's right. You got to work the clutch. And
no, it's the throttle more than the clutch.
And because that's what you do. You hold the throttle and you hold the clutch, and it's just like sitting on a hill. It's just like with the car. She rolled into my Duster into a bus.
That's because it was a stupid car. It had to be in reverse to start it.
But you didn't. You still rolled into him. You didn't back into him.
I did. I slammed in the back of him because I killed it trying to get up the hill.
So, but once again, that guy's yelling at me, and I'm like, dude, you didn't have to brake. He probably didn't even brake. And he was on the bike by himself, and he was on a Heritage or something. And I'm thinking, well, what the hell you're yelling at, you stupid moron? And we just zipped on out to the road because they were already bringing bikes in, so they already stopped the traffic. So I was already able to look ahead and say, I can just keep on going. And it wasn't like I'm not even sure if he even had to hit his brake. It wasn't a close call. It wasn't anything. But I'm like, what is your problem? Do you not know how to ride a motorcycle? And the other thing I look at too is when you get, especially areas like this 17B is very busy most of the time. Friday, it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, a lot of cars. And you're trying to come out of these parking lots and people just sit there. Isn't somebody going to let me out? Hello? I'm a biker. Will you let me out, please? Please. Get your ass up there, buddy. Pull up a little bit. Keep edging. And then when you get a shot, go there. And I'm like, go.
He's got a lot of pent-up frustrations.
I'm like, well, how many of those stupid people have missed their turn? How many?
A lot.
There you go. And she's the passenger sitting in the back. Because that's what I do with her. When we're together, when we pull up like that, after this white car, we're going. And she's like, okay. And when I used to ride with Art, I would rev my bike up a little bit so he would know. If I rev my bike up, he's like, let's go. He was no doubt about it. We went through a light and did the same thing. If he knew I was going to run the light, I would pull it. And so he would know. And or I'd backfire. He knew always my old bike, when I let off the gas, it'd backfire and out of the muffler. And he'd always knew I was slowing down. And he wouldn't have to worry about it.
So Steven said when he worked the parking lot last year, people were driving their motorcycles, but he says he doesn't wear flip-flops and shorts. I know a lot of people. There's a little bit of left, not much.
What?
You only got 10 minutes left anyway.
Yeah, not too bad.
Where my first and rest improved were 30 years ago when they used to deliver house back and forth from Mammy's. And I want to thank SJS. She got us Marco's Pizza. She got us breakfast. She got us donuts. Thank you. All Uber Eats. And then I want to thank Mike Adams. He's the one that actually got us to come to back to Myrtle Beach. He got us our spot here. And want to say a big thank you, shout out to him for paying for our spot. And he always said to say to his beautiful, wonderful wife of 37 years, their anniversary's coming up. He said, just tell her happy anniversary. And that's in August 31st. So right after Sturgis.
We're going to see him in Sturgis.
That's right. So then says after dark, that's the way it goes. I'm fired up. I don't know.
Well, it's just, well, we've been really slow this time. We're not as busy as, I wasn't planning this because we didn't know till the last minute that they weren't going to have in front of Pro Bass.
We thought they were going to have some vendors up there.
And thought we'd have some stuff going on. Well, the problem was like Sunday. It started with me on Sunday, the first Sunday, because the trucks would have opened up on Monday. They would have been rolling in on Sunday. Well, we would have went up there and filmed, show you, who's going to be here. Is Cyril going to be here? Is Van and Hines and whoever else is going to be here? We'd be showing you those trucks. So that way you would know kind of a heads up. Then we'd be back up there on Monday to get all the same thing. We'd stop at the dealership and get the vendors there. See, the vendors at the dealership have sucked the last few years. The sad news is the guy that was the promoter that was in charge of it, he died right before the rally, and they put somebody else in there. So, but they had the last few years, it just seems like they don't really have a lot. They have that big giant circus tent that they're giving away their shirt. It's giving 50% off on the shirts. I ain't giving nothing away. 50%, and it's just, and then right across from them is another guy that's a patch person. They sell leathers and their tent spot is just as freaking big, if not bigger. So it's like half the back lot is clothes. I don't go to a rally just to buy clothes. And so when you look at the vendors, there was, well, they did have this, the shock guy was there.
Oh yeah, that
Suspension Technologies. Now we didn't talk to them because we've talked to them before. But I'm pretty sure I have to go back and look because the guy was complaining I didn't do it. I said, well, you'd have to look at Tuesday night's video to see if we made a pan through there. But I know I went to talk to Rick Rack because I know I seen him on the video. But it depends on how much stuff we have to put into the video. So not everybody gets in. Sometimes I get people this year that came up to me and said, oh, man, we didn't make it last year. I guess we got ended up on the cut floor. I said, why? What happened? He says, well, you interviewed us. And I'm like, I don't know. Let's do it again. I see, sometimes we get so much footage. Sometimes I've got 50 to 100 clips that I've got to look through. So we don't even have all the cameras out. We only got 2 cameras out now. But the other night I had the phone on a gimbal. We have the camera I mount on my bike. I have the camera she holds. We have her camera. I have my camera. We have the new Instant 360. We have the camcorder that I brought out. We did some interviews with Speeds. I was going to use that the other night, but I was going to go take it back out, and because you can zoom in a lot better with that one. And I was going to take that back out the other night, but it wasn't charged up. And is that the only cameras we use? Yeah, 7 cameras. They all have chips in them. So I download all that. So she might have 20 or 30 clips she took. I've got the 10 or 15, 20 or 30 clips that I took off my motorcycle riding, the one that just mounted on the front. And if she's got one that she's holding,
GoPro.
Do we take that? I got clips to put on that out of that. And then I've got my camera. This is my main camera. So I've got 20 or 30 clips on it every day, if not more. Because it's my main camera. And I said your camera. And then the Instant 360, I'm playing with that, trying to figure it all out. I'm getting better with it. And I did a little bit more today with it. I'm going to see how it all turns out. Just not real clear outside. I'm not real happy with the clarity of it yet. I'm still trying to figure it all out. And so I'm still working with that. But I'm trying to learn all that too here while we're here. So then when I do miss a clip, because she had Jay Allen went up to her one morning and did this. And he goes, did you see that? I have no idea where that's at. Never have seen it. You know?
Well, it's in a clip. And if he looks at the beginning of a clip and I'm just walking through the crowd, he's like, I don't like this.
I scan through it.
Oh.
So I just take the mouse and go through it. Well, if it's a 5-minute clip, I miss things. Because sometimes I have to go, if I know I shot that, it's in there. The other day I said that. I lost that clip again. And I don't know where it's at. And I went back and I looked and I know it should be right here. And I'm like, oh, there it is. Well, it's only a 10-second clip of somebody saying something. And so when you're skimming through a 3 or 4 minute clip, 10 seconds can zip through just, you know.
Willie is his name. It cuts the shirts up.
Yeah. And we got we put a couple already on. I've got some more to put on. And got some side shots. And that we'll be putting on in other videos. We try to spice it up to where we don't put all the same stuff on and all the time.
Even so, there was 2 deaths he's heard of.
Okay. We only heard the one. So I'm not saying there isn't. But that's not saying that's good or bad. But it's not bad. 2 deaths in here. Because I consider this the most dangerous rally for motorcyclists. It is for me. I'm more scared here driving around than anywhere else I've ever been. I'm aggravated in Panama City with traffic because it's the stupid people that come down here and it's just traffic jam. You're just sitting in traffic. Here, you're taking your life every time you get in your bike because people are you got crazy car drivers and you got stupid motorcycle guys too that are zipping through the traffic at 50, 60 miles an hour, 80 miles. We had the other day we were sitting. Oh, we were getting ice cream the other day. And sitting in front of this shop with another. Actually, there are some subscribers too. Because when we said something about, I guess I said something about. Oh, I guess that's what I said. These motorcycles, one of those ones that the baggers with the like stretch bags lowered and all that. Wham, wham! It's 45 miles an hour, and they're doing at least 60. 4 of them. And I looked at them and I said, you know, we talked to a lot of police, and they need attention. And they're like, we thought that was you guys over there.
He knew the line, huh?
And so, but yeah, it was, so you get that. You get people, it's sad that,
cool.
It's sad that
air show.
People have to show off. But I mean, this is what the world's about. I guess there's always somebody thinks they got bigger ones between their legs than somebody else does. And, you know, we had it yesterday. We're at the Beaver Bar, and there's this black gentleman that he was playing. What was the song he was playing? It's a country song.
He did Chris Staples in the first one. No, I don't remember.
Like A Tear in a Beer, but it wasn't that one.
Something like that. It was Hank Williams Sr. song.
Yeah. And everybody was singing to it and stuff, and he was getting into it, and his stereo was
crystal clear.
I should have went over and seen what brand it was. That is the clearest stereo. It had the best sound I have ever heard on a motorcycle, ever. Believe me, I know sound. I used to run sound for some of the country stars I've done sound for, and in a past life. And so he's playing a bunch of different songs. I didn't, after a while, it kind of got old because I'm thinking, you know, we're all sitting out here, and there were some people we were talking to. We had some subscribers that wanted to meet us there, been trying to meet us all week long. And we were talking to them before. And then once he started coming, we really couldn't talk anymore because it was so loud. And so pretty soon this other guy backs his motorcycle up. One of them ones with the long bags on and got big old pipes sticking out of the back. He cranks it up. Well, it sounds like crap. It's real high pitched. It's distorted sound. And it's like they're getting, and they got a few of their buddies around them. And I go to this young couple next to me, and I'm like, that is just awful. I said, you could, where we're at, we could hear the guy, the black gentleman on the bike. We could hear his sound crystal clear still. And this over here sounded like static. And so after a while, they went on and off, and the young girl turned to me and she said, "You're right. That guy over there stuff sucks." And I'm like, yeah, and he thinks he's so bad over there. He's like, oh, yeah.
It was loud, but you couldn't really.
It was just crap. It was just nasty, nasty sound. And he thought he was trying to rub this other guy, but I think the other guy had it so loud he was sitting on his bike listening, and I don't think he even heard anything. The other guy even knew he was doing it. And then a couple times when they when they switched songs, you could hear the other guys playing, but his song came back on. But so ended up finally the guy at the end that came up, he quit.
Second guy.
And he finally came up and gave fist bump to that other guy, the black guy. And it's like, dude, you weren't. But other people were cheering on the moron guy too, that thought he had all this great stuff. And it's like,
it was just loud. It was noise.
Well, I guess if you knew the song, but see what was nice about the other guy, because he played some rap songs and everything else. Even if you didn't know the song, you could hear every word crystal clear of the song. And it was like, oh my gosh, I have never heard a stereo on a bike, maybe even in a car. I don't know if that guy, but he didn't have all the big giant stereo. He had everything was factory look. He had a street glide, and he had a tour pack on it. And so he had the two speakers in the front. He had the two speakers in the saddlebags, and he had the two on the. No, he didn't even have the two on the left seat. He just had a tour pack on the back. He didn't. He just had the little seat on the back, the little backrest. That was it. And it was like, man, and we were pretty far away. It was kind of like in the middle of the Beaver Bar, and we were all the way at the far end of the bar. The far, if you were sitting in the bar, you'd be on the left side, all the way at the end we were at. Oh. And the guy that was making all the noise was right in front of us.
Yeah. So he said those bikes with the really long bags and the 30-inch wheels are called parade floats, because you can see them at rallies going down the road on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I would say that.
For the crazy Wild Ass Burnouts footage. Thanks, Tam, for all the great videos. Thank you, too. I didn't miss Bike Week. There you go, SJS. I made it back to Missouri today. Dave's Crazy Trailer. There you go.
But yeah, it's the rally was good. I have no complaints about the rally itself. We had a good time. It was for us, like I say, it was just organized for us on our part. But I mean, we actually had a little bit more lull time for us. We didn't get up quite as early. We did it on the Sunday. We went out and had a beaver breakfast. On last Sunday, we didn't do it this Sunday. But the first Sunday, we went down there and had breakfast there, and we were out all day and had a pretty good time. We never made it over to the Rat's Hole. We were going to do that yesterday and just never got that far. And because everything just looked so dead, I was like, it's going to be really dead over there. I don't want to go over there. And we didn't really get to hear bands. Jackal was going to come on when we were there Friday night. And I just, after the burnout and stuff, I was just kind of done. Well, I already see my hands were black. I didn't know my face was black.
Well, he says, take a picture of my shirt, take a picture of my, and I'm like, yo, your face says it all. This is black.
My hair was all up in my hair and everything. It was a mess.
2 hours.
but it was just very, very, like I say, it was. So here's what we're looking at for next year. We did find that we have a condo. We have a condo membership, and we have a condo in Myrtle Beach, right down there on Beach Boulevard, Orlando Boulevard, whatever the hell they call that down there. And you can park the bike in the garage. We went down there and checked it all out and everything like that. So this is a possibility for next year. It only costs us $149 to do an exchange through our Las Vegas. So we trade our 1 week of Las Vegas for 2 weeks anywhere we want to go. So we can use 1 week here and still have another week left. So that's a possibility if we can get in there. We have to wait. We should. Everybody wants Las Vegas. So we can probably get in there. So the points that we have to get here again is we have to find a bike to ride. Like I say, we don't have much relationship with the dealership. Steven's going to talk to the sales manager because he's always been a really good guy. We've talked to him and we've given him free shout outs and all that stuff on it. This year we didn't have him talk to us, but usually we do and talk about their sales and stuff. But we showed the bikes and talked about the stuff. We were there on that. I think we went up there the first day too. Yeah. Before it ever opened, we were already doing stuff on that.
We went up there that Tuesday. It rained to get our hog pens.
Yeah, and that was a pain in the ass. And
we got them.
Yeah, after I telling you, don't come down here and get a stupid pen because they ain't never here. So, but it's not bad. But in a situation like that, when it's on the dealer's property, they paid for it. Cost them like 10 grand to have the truck come out there and do demo rides. The guys that bring the trucks out are just truck drivers. They don't really work for corporate. They work for the company that owns the truck. So they don't do a lot. So when you do that, they have to use the hog group or they have to find somebody to escort the people around on the rides. So that's how that works. But so when we go to Daytona or we go to Panama City, a big event like that where the trucks are on different property, that's corporate that brings the trucks out. We can get bikes from corporate. They tell us that. We got one for 1 day. We'll see if we're going to call them next week and talk to them. Or we're going to see them in Sturgis and talk to them about this for next year because we're going to see if they can put a bike on a truck like that. But we've been told unless the corporate truck's there, we can't get a bike. So I don't know. So that's our first problem. We've got to have a bike. Not going to travel around on a car trying to do this. And so I'm not going to be like these other guys that come in cars. If it's Cycle Drag drove his car here and he leaves his motorcycle home, that's great. If he likes that, he does. I want to be in the action. I want to park my bike with the bikes. I want to be with everybody. I want to go on the rides. I want to do the things. You know, if I went to Sturgis, well, I wouldn't do it. I would not go to Sturgis in a car. I just wouldn't do it. If it was the Sturgis motorcycle rally, I would not drive around in a car and never bring a motorcycle. I just would not do that. That is just unreal. You could never even dream. If you're driving a car and you come to a motorcycle rally, you have no idea what's going on. You do not know. You can't even experience what the rest of us have experienced. And that's just the truth. You're to me, driving in a car is like you going to a carnival and walking around. There's nothing else more about it. You're not a biker. You don't ride a bike. Even if somebody has no experience, they just bought a bike yesterday and they come to a rally, at least you've got the bike. You got at least to be able to experience some. You can look at the cool stuff for your new bike. If maybe you don't want to buy nothing yet, but you can look at it. So, the first time I went to a rally, that was the coolest thing, just looking at all the stuff. I spent probably my first couple of years of going to rallies, I spent all my time looking at stuff. Like, oh man, I'd like to have that. Oh, I'd like to have that. And we'd walk from one tent to another, just looking at, because they used to be in motorcycle rallies, you didn't have all this other junk that they're selling now, massage guns and recliners and bracelets. And, they had jewelry, but it was motorcycle stuff, skulls and Harley emblems and stuff like that. You had some jewelers and stuff that made stuff. But you didn't have all this junk, and the sunglass people, you didn't really even have much of the sunglass. You had a few, but not like they do now. And the guy's cleaning the glass. I don't need to buy any of your crap to clean. I don't need you to clean my glasses when I'm walking by. I don't need my ring cleaned. I got a rag to rub my glass with. I got my shirt. I don't need you squirting crap on my glasses and try to sell me some crap I don't need. And then
I told him, I said, you know what the biggest problem with your product is? And they're like, what? And I said, I bought that stuff like 20 years ago, and I still got it because they give you a little squirt bottle, a little dropper bottle, and a little gel bottle. So I still got all that. I bought it years ago, and I still got it. So lasts forever. Anyway, so they said the rat hole Thursday afternoon was not too bad, but after that there wasn't much.
Good thing I didn't go then. Rat hole, the only rat hole is it's like 10 or 11 o'clock before it really gets going out there. And it's like, I just don't, one, we don't normally stay out that late. One of it is because I got to get back and start editing. Either lately this year it worked better because most of the videos I got done at night. We were done and they were uploaded and ready to go. Some of the videos we were able to finish them up in the morning and I could upload it and they turned out all right. To where if they would have got a yellow flag or something like that, because a few of mine, there's actually one you seen the other day. You actually had a girl with her boobs out walking, and I cut it short where she didn't get too close to the camera. But get a big 100-inch screen or a 55-inch screen, you probably could see them. They're in the background. She's walking this way, and she was going to go all the way close, and I thought, I'm not going to push my luck because that was one it was going to get upload while we were gone. Then I would have had to come back and try to fix it and do it all. That would have been a real pain in the butt. I would have wasted most of the day to fix that. So you gotta pick your battles. So, but I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. So that's what we're looking at. So next year, that's what we're looking at, all of our East Coast rallies. So right now we're looking for sponsorships. We've got several. We already got one, which is Camp Easy Ride. They're our first sponsor to come up, and we only had one. He was the first one that approached us with this, and that's when we decided to come up with this idea. And so he was the first one, and so he got the lowest price one, which was the first one we had. Now we got a couple different levels. And he, so they signed on and paid us and stuff. So that money's in the bank, and that's going to pay for the airline's tickets we bought our airline tickets for Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue and Eureka Springs. Those we already got them. Our airlines are all set, and we will be there. Ocean City's all set up. We already got our place to stay and all that. She's got to call Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue and remind them that we got our tickets and get us a place to stay, and we should get a bike from Big Trail Harley. So that'll all work out. So that'll be good. So we've got about 4 vendors here that said they want to take a package. So we'll see. And I got a 5th one that I talked to today that because somebody else is getting one, and if they get the most expensive one, he wants the most expensive one too because he's kind of in competition with them. So some of our vendors sell some of the same things. We normally look at a vendor for what the main thing they sell, not necessarily everything they sell, because some of these people sell the same thing. They all sell handlebars, or they all sell lighting, or they sell, but I mean, different, like the Fairing Exchange. They sell just interference. That's their specialty. I don't know. That's their specialty. Maybe the mouse bumps or something. They sell just interfering. Joey, his main thing is air shocks. That's really what his lifeblood was, selling air shocks. That is plugged in, isn't it, over there? Yeah, it's very green. Air shocks. What else are we thinking about? Ben, he sells the fairings, the removable fairings, the radios. That's his specialty. I think that's really all he sells. I don't think he does anything else. What else is there out there? Dan Kite only does pinstriping. Amsoil Adams got the love jugs, and he does oil changes. He's got some other stuff he does too, but that's his main thing. So most of the people that we have, George does cigars. And so most of the people that we have, there's other people that sell cigars. Not saying there isn't, but we found George, and he's a really cool guy. We like him, and he sells some really good products. I don't smoke cigars. Did when I was in high school a little bit. Be cool. And I told him he needs to design a Monica Lewinsky cigar. Every time I tell him, he thinks, oh man, how many guys that don't even smoke a cigar wants a Monica Lewinsky cigar? I might buy one. He's trying to find a big giant head of Monica Lewinsky, and then he wants to get a Bill Clinton one too. So, if you know the story, would you buy a Monica Lewinsky cigar?
Your Clockworks windshield is how tall, and is it tinted?
Yes, my windshield is tinted, and I don't know how tall it is.
I want to say 12-inch.
I was going to say 10, but I don't know. Here's what I do. You can put almost every Clockworks place that sells Clockwork windshields, let you try one out. My wind goes right over the top of my head. I can't wear a hat. It would blow my hat off. I don't wear most of these guys, we always want to wear baseball hats. And the reason I don't wear a baseball hat is I can't squeeze my brain that tight. It hurts. Because that's what they say. You got to put it as tight as you can. You got to put it. I'm like, no, I don't want that. That hurts. So I don't wear a baseball hat. I wish I could. Usually when she's right behind me, she'd hold the back of it so it wouldn't blow off. And it ain't worth all that trouble. So, but yeah, I have to measure it. I don't know.
So George was on the local news tonight, 13 and 15. They also interviewed Speeds. Did they say it was a newscast?
No.
Or was it just a
YouTube.
YouTuber? Oh, okay. All right, your 2 hours is up.
Oh, I don't know. Where's your tape measure at?
Down there, why?
Here, I can measure the windshield. I didn't realize the
yeah.
bike was in here.
Yep. Second drawer down. Here, we'll let you know how tall the windshield is right now.
10.
10 inches. There you go. There's your answer.
See, I was right. I guess 10.
Yep.
That was my guess. She said 12. I didn't think it was 12. I think the factory on that model, factory was 12. I still got the factory one at home. Just curved. But yeah, it's pretty neat inside. How many people we got on? 84. Glasses are really dirty.
Yeah.
But I mean, I liked it. We had a good time, no problems. I'm gonna really miss the campground here. We got a great spot with him being sponsor us for the campground this year. We were able to pay ahead of time for it, so we bought it last year before we ever left. And they're saying now that most of the spots are already gone for next year. For these close ones, we're right here by the bathroom, the shower house, the laundry.
Right when you come in.
Yeah.
This is a big. It's like circle, and then it's a bigger circle, and then a bigger circle.
It's like C's, giant C's.
And so we've been way back there.
And then because you got to go out that way. Everything's one way. Well, it's nice here because as soon as you come in, you go in this first half curve. We're halfway in that circle, and then it's right back out. And we're out. So it's easy in, easy out. Everybody likes it, easy in and easy out. And that's what it was. This was just a really great spot. We had easy to get in here. We were able to put the easy up. A little rough getting the bikes in here, but we could get them turned around. And
still at Myrtle Beach. We're leaving in the morning, SJS.
Yep, 7 o'clock. We'll be pulling out of here earlier, depending on how we get up and get moving. By 7, we'll be gone. We're going to try to see if we can get about 500 miles.
We don't really name our bikes.
No.
I don't know if I got a name for my bike.
Yellow Boy. I don't know.
Old Yeller.
It's a sports shirt.
Sunny. Yep.
Well, her bike. Yeah. That's her bike. My bike.
There you go. 16 years and one place to go each year. Yep. They're talking about, Neil's talking about when he goes to Sturgis. He's been going for 16 years now. And
I'm looking at. I'm hoping Sturgis this year will be really good and be a lot of fun. Like I said, we don't have any rallies between now and when we get to Sturgis. So we got a lot of stuff. We'll have some other videos that we're going to be talking about. I got some videos in the queue that we want to do. We got a bunch of stuff we just did with speeds. Some of these problems that what I see is YouTube is like a giant cesspool. There's a lot of stuff that's in here that just stinks. People make up stuff and they say stuff that they just kind of pull out of their butt. Or maybe somebody's going to give me money if I sell this product. Hey, if I sell this phone and tell everybody about it, they'll send me money. And so I don't know nothing about this phone, but let's talk about it. Oh yeah, let's talk about it. Well, see, I won't do that. All the products that we put on our bike, when we first started, we paid for it. We might have got a little bit of a deal on it, but we still spent money on it. So only thing I ever got free is my gauges, my digital gauges. And we got the Rockford Fosgate speakers and amp. I had to pay for the labor to get them put in, and we did get the compensator, Dark Horse compensator, and then we got the lift at home. And so other than that, that's all we've ever gotten free. But you didn't see any links on any of those products that were down here in my comments that by clicking on it, I got more money from them. A lot of YouTubers get compensated. If they've got a link down here for it, they're getting paid. They're getting something for it. As little as 10%, could be getting more than that. We're not going that route. I don't really like to do that because my point is if I recommended this, hey, this is the greatest product in the world. You guys need to buy it. Oh, I love it. It's just the greatest thing in the world. And then in 6 months, I find out it's the biggest piece of junk I ever bought. Now I sold you this biggest piece of junk, and I don't want to be that guy. And most of you know that I shoot from the hip, and I'm going to tell you the way it is. And that's the way I want to stay. And that's why with our sponsorships, where most of them are people that there's nobody we don't know. We have a couple sponsors, a couple people we're talking. She talked to somebody yesterday that we've done a bunch of free advertising for them, but they're I don't want to say who they are. If I say too much, you'll be able to figure it out because we don't do a lot of advertising for this type of thing. But it's really not. It's like a food, and so it'd be not a big deal. So this guy said, well, maybe I can get the corporate to do it. If not, maybe I can get some money out of our slush fund to help you guys out. And we're like, that would be great. And he really likes us. And so she talked to him and thought, hey. And then there's another big company I'm thinking about talking to that really not a product. It's hard I don't want to explain because I don't want somebody else to go after what we're trying to get. And they would be a really good one. If I got them, that would almost be somebody that would maybe, because what we're looking for is we're not looking for somebody, we're not looking to make money on this stuff. We are happy. We love what we do. We love giving you information. We love meeting all you people. You know, a lot of you have no idea how excited we are when you guys come up and like, oh, I watch you. You know, you're
We're just as excited to meet you as
you're
you are.
Tam and Bill.
Tim and what's his name?
Bob and Kim. No, you're close. But not everybody. A lot of people say they watch us all the time. And they don't. But that's fine. You know. But sometimes people say, well, like there's a couple guys that watch us and said, I've been watching you for 3 years. I watch you every time you come to Myrtle Beach. We have other videos. But it is. We have a lot of that. That's one of the problems we have with our channel, that we get more people. Our videos are more catered to the people that are coming to that rally, or people that want to know about that rally. So that's why we're going to start doing. That's one of the reasons we're looking to start flying into. We're still going to ride to Sturgis. We're still going to go to Sturgis and take the trailer and do all that because we're there so long, and it's a fortune to fly up there. But we have our own place to stay. We like this. I don't know how the motels and all that will work. We'll have to see how this all works out. But we have a few places that one location, I think the vendor's has some property. I think they'll give us a house or an apartment to stay in at one of the big rallies. I think that'll work out for that. But we may end up getting other rallies. We may get somebody that says, hey, we want you to come to Laconia next year. We want you to do the 102nd one. And, you know, we got a place you guys can stay, and we'll get you a bike. The dealership there is not too bad. We don't have any real trouble with that. The same one owns Orlando. Harley Davidson owns Laconia, and they also own Poconos. They got cool dealerships, and never got to meet the owners, but I would love to. But that's another one that I have no hard feelings. But I mean, we didn't get to meet the owner, but we've met some great people at all three of those dealerships. So kind of neat. So, but we might be able to get something from them. Somebody else told me that the other day. They said, why don't you get corporate they should tell the dealers what to do? Well, you can't tell the dealers what to do. Well, we don't necessarily need a brand new bike. We just need a bike with a tour pack on the back, unless they're going to give us two bikes, because she needs something where she can sit on the back and don't fall off. She's afraid to fall off. And so I said, it's a Rick Rack today. I said, because they got a weird thing too. A lot of these vendors like Ciro and all that kind of stuff, they want to pay you off of what you sell. I don't want to do that. I decided, we started that for a little while, did some Ciro products. I'm not going to do that. One, I waste too much time. I spend a lot of time making a video for them, and for some pennies, and it just isn't worth my time. And so
we still have the factory seat, that's a heated seat, and then we have the
orthopedic
seat that we use during the summer when we don't use a heated seat. But that's a wonderful seat. And I have a Mustang seat, and I love it.
Yeah.
Haha.
So that's kind of what we're doing for next year. So we're looking to fly into Daytona, Panama City, Leesburg, Myrtle Beach. That's it.
Like 100 and something away from.
Yeah, we are. Well, let me see if we gained any more. I was hoping we would maybe catch it while we're here.
Window behind you. No, that's the tailgate.
Yeah.
There's a window here. You can't. Oh, this. Yeah. See?
Oh, this is your phone. My
phone. Gas station parking lot, parties outside the campground. You in the RV? Yes, we are. We're in the RV. See, there's my bike right here.
Yeah. So we're. I lost somebody. We're 104 away. We have 24,896 subscribers. We didn't gain any since we've been here. Yeah, we did.
We gave away a bunch of cards.
Well, we've gained some. We're up. We've gained 343 subscribers. But see, what happens is, to remind everybody that if you walk up to us and you met us today and we handed you a card and you click subscribe, YouTube will take you away from me. Why? Because they think you're a bot. They think you're a computer that joined. You have to watch 3 minutes of a video before you subscribe. Or if you hit subscribe, watch 3 minutes. That way they say, oh, you're a real person. So.
See you in Ocean City, if not in Sturgis, redirects.
And so that's kind of how that all turns out. So that you gain and lose subscribers. I don't really look at what I lose. I only keep track of the gains because we are a big enough channel. We're not that big, but we're a big enough channel that we are always gaining subscribers. So with the few that we lose, I don't see them. We seen them only when we first started. We lost 600 of them in Sturgis the first year we went there.
Somebody too said he just subscribed 2 days ago.
There you go.
Thank
Appreciate that. Like I said, we're growing, but I should have talked about it all along, and we would have got more. And I should have handed out more cards. I'm not a good person to solicit for myself. It's just hard to believe. But in Sturgis the first year, I gave out like a whole 2,500 cards, and that's how we gained so many subscribers. And I was going to do it here, and it's hard for me to. I'm not the easiest person for me to talk to other people. You wouldn't think that, but
We can talk.
but I don't. But I used to not.
No.
And I still have a lot of that same character to where if you come to me, I can sell ice cubes to Eskimos, but if I had to go cold call people, I couldn't do it. I sold Mac Tools. I had a lot of trouble selling Mac Tools and collecting money from people.
I don't know how many people that are on here that aren't subscribers. When we check our stats, there's probably more people watch our videos that aren't subscribers than
there always is. That's on everybody's channel.
Yeah.
So if you look at audience, if you look at right now, it wasn't too bad. So you've got newcomers are this blue line. And so really we had a peak of newcomers. I don't know what it doesn't say. This is just in the last 48 hours. So we had like 30,000 views. We had returning viewers this time.
Ryder X is leaving. Good night, Ryder X.
Okay. Okay, watch time from a subscriber. So right now, for the last 28 days, 70% of the people that watched our channel were not subscribers. 30% were. But that's pretty typical. You can look at most people's channels that have, well, you just look at Cycle Drag. I'm not recommending him or not recommending him, but I just seen he had 600,000 subscribers. Well, he had 129,000 watch a video. That's kind of sad, being that he's got 600,000 subscribers. But Prime Cut Pro's like that. He's got 1 million subscribers, and he gets 100, 150,000, 50,000 watch channel. That's kind of sad for having that. So subscribers doesn't mean anything.
It's the
views. But YouTube, the more subscribers you have, the more leeway you have, because then they know more money, the potential of more people watching your channel. Just like the Prime Cut Pro, he puts a lot of stuff that me and Adam would be flagged for. Adam Amzol, we'd be flagged for, wouldn't be able to do advertising. Where he gets away with it because he's such a large channel, they overlook that.
Thank you, Tony.
It's political. It's like all this other stuff that's going on in the world. It's all political, and you got to watch what you say. We don't talk a lot about religion or politics or any of that stuff because it gets your channel in trouble. Scotty Too Hottie.
Scooter Tramp Scotty.
He lost his channel last year. It was last year, I think it was, in Sturgis. He lost his channel because he talked a little too much politics. You know, you can't give out you can't give out your one viewpoint this way unless you're going the other way. If you're going the other way, they don't care what you say. But if you go this way, you get in trouble. So we try to stay away from that, and we want to be more of a motorcycle channel and not really. One of the reasons I love doing what we do is because we don't really. You're not really involved with a lot of the politics stuff. Yeah, you do see some Trump flags and stuff like that off and on during this time, coming around election time. But you don't hear people in your face with all this stuff, talking about Biden or talking about Trump or whatever they're talking about. They're not. We don't hear that at rallies necessarily. So, which is nice. And we don't really keep track of the news when we're at rallies. You know, these shootings and all this stuff going on, and they can stop all that stuff really, really quick. But they won't. They don't care. They want to just destroy the country, and that's what will happen.
Neil says he has hail. He's got a white yard again.
Holy smokes!
Bob did the NIOC. I don't know what that means.
I don't know either.
All right, 2.5 hours.
Holy Jennifer Jupiter's Batman. We've been on a long time. What time is it? 9:30. Good thing we took our showers already. She didn't put no makeup on tonight. I didn't put no makeup on either.
He did his hair though. No, he poked all night with his hair. All right. Half of them left. They said good night.
All right. So we'll wrap it up here. And we got a new saying. I forget what subscriber told me to say that.
Tracy Stillvender, something like that.
And it's like Adams, where we say, keep your engines running. And well, you got to say your thing first before I say.
Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. I hope you enjoyed the video. Y'all stay safe. We'll see you hopefully at one of the rallies coming up. We're heading to St. Louis next. Somebody asked that. Then we're going to go to Wichita. June 10th, we'll be in Sturgis. So subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Share us with your family and friends. Give us a big thumbs up. Ring that bell for notifications. And we'll see you on the next video. Say your thing.
Yeah, look at your last 2 comments.
Yep. And oh, did his noise go away?
Yes. There's an adjuster.
Video to
oh, there'll be another video on that. So the saying that we have, actually, I said it, and the guy says, you ought to use that as your catchphrase. And it's, we'll see you down the road.
There you go. Bye, Steven. God bless you too. Adios.